Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Lost in the Dark podcast. I am Burton, joined tonight in the Crypt by Aaron.
Hey, Ron.
Hey, Ron, the machine, the drum machine.
Not to be confused with Bert Kreischer, who is the actual machine.
The actual, he is the machine. Man, it's been a crazy few weeks here in the Crypt, hasn't it?
Like, a bit.
We've had some amazing, incredible guests.
Yeah.
From Recorruptor to other members of Bogwraith to my sister. Her and I had a great conversation about Marvel and Star Wars and Doctor Who and fantastic, nothing but fantasticness. It's been a while since it's just been you and I down here.
I know.
It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, back to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we were just talking. We were sitting here. We're both completely by accident. We're both sitting here in Slipknot shirts, and we've been talking about Slipknot, listening to Slipknot for the past couple minutes.
Well, I didn't think that you would be, because you did last time, so I was like, all right, it should be. Not that it matters. I don't care.
No, it doesn't matter at all. But like this morning, I woke up. Honestly, what it was is this morning I woke up and I saw a post from Mike from Bogwraith, and it was like,
oh yeah,
it was just like an image of something in the dark, and it was like I'm counting all the sinners or something, and it just like that woke me up.
Yeah.
Like as soon as I had that song in my head, I immediately got out of bed and was like, it's go time.
Yeah.
Like that shit got me going this morning. So yeah, I just yeah. So but we wanted to talk about some news that got released. Literally, I read this the night after me and Mike did our Slipknot episode. It was that they are soon supposedly releasing some previously unreleased tracks.
Yeah.
Now you know more about this than I do. So what era are these tracks from?
As far as like the timeline of it, because I guess when they were recording All Hope Is Gone, which was 2008. I want to say we were just literally just
you said
listening to
2008,
Yeah, I just want to double check. So yeah, I guess it's like a bunch of like, I don't know if B-sides is the right term for it, but it's like extras from that era, from that album recording cycle. So.
Well, I think from what I understood, it was that there was like I don't know if this is accurate or not, but I know I read that there was like some animosity happening in the band at the time, and maybe like Corey Clown and like one other guy or something like went off while they were recording that album and recorded basically like a side project that they never intended really to get released. They just wanted to like get some shit out in another way, and that's what we're gonna get. And I did read an article today, maybe it came out yesterday or something, from Corey Taylor saying that like this music has like a Radiohead vibe.
That's I don't really know how to respond to that.
Well, to me, it just means it's not going to be heavy.
It's
yeah, which is kind of a bummer.
But
it's still cool. I think it's cool that they're doing it.
Yeah,
I think this is a good idea because I think I'm someone in the camp of, as a fan. Okay, as a fan, one of the reasons why I love podcasts is because the ones that I like. 99 I think I listened to 2 podcasts. I think 2 or 3 podcasts out of all of them that I listened to. I think I listened to 2 or 3 that are edited at all. You know what I mean? I like the unedited raw format. I like hearing artists fuck up. I like hearing, like I like going on the journey with the artist, and that includes the songs they don't like, the riffs they don't like. You know what I mean? I like going on the whole journey with them. So for a band to go back and release stuff that they never intended, and I hope they release, the however many songs they extra had for We Are Not Your Kind eventually. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. They didn't want to put them, it didn't fit with the feel of the album, but I still would like to hear those songs. Like, I think, you know what I mean? Like, just to hear them, like, what else were you thinking during this time? You know what I mean? Like,
Well, I kind of think of it in two ways, because when most of the time when you think of like re-released with like unreleased songs, a lot of times unfortunately it is like demos
or live versions, or
which, I mean, at the same time could be really cool, because
could be.
I remember they did that with the self-titled, with the 10-year anniversary of it. They put out an album that was, they put out the full length with it, and then like on the end of it they put out like 2 or 3 different versions of like I think it was Wait and Bleed, and then they did, I think there was a version of what was Diluted, which is now, I don't remember what it was called, like the demo version, but basically there was like 2 or 3 different songs that were actually different versions of what was on the full length. So I'm thinking maybe, like, unless it's...
That's cool.
Yeah.
There was one, like, Eminem released something once called, like, Shady XVI or XV or something.
Yeah.
And on there was an alternate version of Lose Yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That was, like, a demo version. But it was, like, different lyrics.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, almost a different song.
Yeah.
And that was really cool to hear. I liked that a lot.
Yeah, that's kind of what those were. And honestly, like, there's a lot more... I'm trying to remember which one it was. It was either Interloper or Despise. I think Despise, which turned into Liberate on the first album.
I'm gonna keep going. I'm just gonna be honest. The song names are gonna fall flat out. Slipknot's one of those bands that names their songs weird.
Yeah.
Like they never go. They almost never go with any words in the song. You know what I mean? So it's kind of hard to like.
Yeah.
And for someone like me who listens to everything in their car, I don't always look at the track name. I just listen to the album top to bottom. You know what I mean?
That's Well, I was just saying in reference to like what they turned into. I guess not so much the fact that
yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. It was like if it's stuff like that, then that's cool, you know. But also, I read that I don't remember if it was Corey Taylor or if it was Clown that was saying something about like it's more along the lines of like the experimental side of things.
Yeah.
Which after hearing the new album, like, do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Honestly,
yeah.
if it's more along the lines of stuff like that, and it's more like, you know,
I definitely got the impression it was not alternate versions of released songs. These are fresh songs.
Right.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I hope, you know, because to be honest, like, I think, well,
I haven't heard anything about it being a re-release with extra songs. I just heard they're releasing these previously unreleased tracks.
Yeah.
So I don't think they're gonna like come out with a new version of what was it? All I can think of is "We Are Not Your Kind." What is it? All Life is the name of the song.
All Hope Is Gone.
All Hope Is Gone.
Yeah.
There we go. Damn it, I lost it for a second. But yeah, I don't think they're gonna re-release that. I think they're just. It's the impression I have at the moment based on the articles I've read. That's all I know.
Yeah.
Is that these are just fresh tracks that they're going to come out with. Hopefully, I mean, if they're talking about it now, I would imagine it would be smart of them, smart as fuck, actually. I don't know when their 2020 tour with Behemoth is in Europe.
Oh, the UK one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look up those dates for me real quick, because I know they're in 2020, so they must be early. And based on when those are, I'm going to say before or after those dates, they're going to do the same thing in the United States. And it would be really smart of them to release these tracks right before they start these tours.
So it looks like, if I'm reading this right, all the dates are backwards on the UK thing, but it looks like it starts what would be to us January 14th.
Okay, so top of the year.
Yeah, and it runs until February 24th.
So then I would imagine starting in February 24th. So yeah, I would imagine before too much longer, we'll get an We Are Not Your Kind All Out Life Slipknot headlining tour starting in March.
Yeah, probably.
We'll probably get that announcement relatively soon,
yeah.
I think.
I would imagine once they're, because I mean that's what they did with the UK announcement for this one. It was because right now it's like halfway through the Knotfest roadshow stuff.
The Knotfest cycle, yeah.
So I imagine probably like mid-January we'll probably hear something.
I would even guess before that, honestly.
Yeah.
I would almost say before that. I would say because what?
I guess, yeah.
Look up real quick when does Knotfest end? It's got. Now that I think about it, it's got to be over pretty soon. I would think. So what the fuck? What they're just doing then? Yeah, tell me when that ends. I'm really interested in that now. Hold on a second. Let's theorize here. Let's get deep in the weeds, in the theories, the conspiracy of touring. I'm personally convinced. Hey, anybody who listens to this, please share this with the band Arch Enemy, because I am personally convinced that every member of that band listens to this podcast and is now in a conspiracy against me personally to never come to Michigan. So please, someone inform Arch Enemy that there is someone out there who desperately wants to see them and never has because they won't come.
So, yeah. Yeah, that's
conspiracy.
Who knows? Maybe.
I am convinced at this fucking point, dude. I'm convinced.
So anyway, with the end of this, it actually ends October 8th, it looks like.
So you're gonna tell me that they're gonna take October, November, and December?
Sorry, September 8th. It looks like.
Okay, still same.
Yeah.
You're gonna September 8th. So the beginning of September.
9/8.
Yeah,
that's September, right?
So you're gonna tell me they're gonna take almost all of September, October, November, and December off after just dropping an album? Maybe they don't announce their headlining tour for U.S. because it's going to happen starting in late October, and they don't want to announce that before the end of Knotfest.
That could be. Yeah. Huh.
I could see that.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Which
would mean when they come here, they're headlining Little Caesars Arena.
Yeah. Wow, dude.
That's
going to be intense.
Dude.
Yeah.
I would... Yeah. Oh, fuck me.
Yeah.
Like, fuck. Like, I would also be willing to venture a bet that we might even. No, probably not.
I think it would make the most sense if they did like a October, November.
I would say
tour.
November, December.
That too. Yeah.
Well, maybe October, November if it's September 8th that it ends. So yeah, October, November. And then they take off December and then start back up in January. Yeah, that makes sense actually. And they take off December to get those 11 tracks ready for release. And they release those right before they go to Europe.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I mean,
it just would
either that or we're not going to hear anything in that, because the way they're one of those bands that's so weird in terms of like how they kind of do things, because like the way the last time we saw them for the Knotfest show, it's been like 5 or 7 years since they were back in Michigan. Well, okay, never mind, I take that back, because they did have one tour that I missed that was with Korn and I think King 810. That was like in between, like after Mayhem Fest, I'd say.
Okay. That's definitely in the last 5 years for sure.
So within, they, you know,
this is the first time in a long time that they've been back with new music. That's for sure.
Yeah, and it almost seems like every time they do release something new, they do like a big festival, like a big, like Mayhem Fest or like like not how Knotfest was, and then they do like a one-off like tour kind of, and
as they should, the album tour,
yeah, and then after that. I don't really know. It seems like they do a lot of stuff over, like, over in the UK and stuff. They hit a lot of that area.
The only thing, like, honestly, okay, it makes absolutely zero sense for them to do nothing in September, October, November, and December.
Right.
That would boggle my mind if they just did nothing until the European tour and then announced the American tour after.
Yeah.
However, that's kind of also what makes the most sense, because they were just here, and if they did it with Europe first, then US, then that could lead them right into the summer festival season. So it kind of like
That's
builds
true, yeah.
all of next year.
Yeah.
But it doesn't make any fucking sense for them to take the next few months off. So I don't know. But I really don't know. But what I'm saying is I would put money down right now that either this fall or this coming up spring, we're going to have a Slipknot headline tour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say that. I mean, that makes most sense to me.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes most sense to me too. Either of those. It makes most sense for them to do it in the spring, but it does not make a goddamn bit of sense for them to not have anything scheduled for the next 3 months after just dropping an album and it going to #1 in the United States.
Yeah.
So, brilliant. Brilliant album.
I'm trying to remember when it was. Because I remember seeing it. It was called the Prepare for Hell tour. And it was just after Mayhem Fest and all that stuff.
I don't remember this at all.
It was yeah.
I wouldn't have wanted to go because Korn was there, though. I don't like Korn that much. They do put on a hell of a live show. I will say their light show, when I saw them on the Family Values tour in 2006 or 7, it was the first, it was also, side note, the first ever national show that Five Finger Death Punch had ever played. And they were like, they weren't headline, they were like on a side stage and they weren't even headlining it at the time. But yeah, I saw Korn that night, and they really did impress me with they had a really cool light show.
So that was.
But I've never really been a giant fan of Korn.
Like I will say,
Slipknot is about as much new metal as I'm willing to take.
Yeah.
Slipknot and from time to time a bit of Linkin Park.
Yeah. I'll say, like I don't even necessarily put them in the category of new metal anymore.
Not like. They released a techno album, bro. I
was talking about Slipknot, but Korn as well.
Oh, Slipknot, I still would.
Yeah,
I still would. Yeah. I think you can hear a lot of elements of other music in there, but I think at the core, it's still new metal.
Oh shit! So apparently, what? They did the Prepare for Hell tour, but I guess they did a couple of different ones because this one has Hatebreed on it. And the tour went through, it was on May 16th. It was at the Van Andel Arena in Grand Rapids.
Oh, fuck.
I don't know
Damn
how
it.
I missed that.
Damn it.
And then, I guess they did do a couple, because they did the Summer's Last Stand tour, which is with, I don't know how he missed this. It was Lamb of God, Bullet for My Valentine, and Motionless in White.
No, wait. I can tell you how I missed that. It didn't come to Michigan. Because if that had come to Michigan, I would have gone to see it. Lamb of God doesn't come here without me going. Period. And there's no fucking way Lamb of God was in Michigan without me knowing, and I have not heard of that. So that did not come to Michigan.
Yeah.
I promise.
Well,
I promise.
Yeah.
Lamb of God does not come to Michigan without me being in that audience.
I'm just saying, like Slipknot and Lamb of God on one bill.
Amazing bill.
Oh,
amazing. And Hatebreed.
Yeah.
They're all perfect mixes. That's another thing that I was going to say is on some of the more recent episodes of the Josta show. I don't know if you said you're not really caught up with him, but he's been talking about a massive 2020 Hatebreed year. Like he's talking about massive world tour, possible new album. And if Not is here in the spring, who else would be a perfect opener but Hatebreed and Behemoth? Like, you know what I mean?
That's a good point.
There could be something there. Joss has been teasing like something massive for 2020. So all year.
When did Concrete Confessional come out? That was last year, wasn't it?
Concrete? Fuck no, dude. Are you serious? Concrete Confessional is like kind of old.
Am I off? Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Not old, but you know what I mean. Yeah, dude. That album came out a while ago.
That was 2017, wasn't it? That wasn't last year.
I do not think it. 2016.
Really?
Yep.
Shit.
It came out May 13th, 2016.
So
it's been like it'll be 4 years. Because they're not. I don't know if they've started the new one yet.
Yeah.
So
maybe
it's been a while for. And he's got that and a new Jost album coming. So, and hopefully a new D Snyder album.
Yeah. That'd be sick.
But yes, it would be. I would fucking love to see Hatebreed on a Slipknot bill. That'd be sick. But yeah, the fucking 11 songs. Yeah, that's what we started this all about. But who knows? Who knows? There's a lot going on in that camp right now.
Yeah.
Like there could be
I'll say like
a lot to be excited about.
The times that, because I got super into them when it was Volume 3. That around that I think it was like it was in the somewhere in the space between when Volume 3 and All Hope Is Gone were like, because I remember being excited about All Hope Is Gone. Like I remember being, like what, I don't know, just like following that super tight. And then when it came out and stuff, and I'll say like every time they do come back, it's always just bigger than it was the time before.
And I genuinely feel like this is the biggest, and this is the this is the first time where they've like come back huge, and like there is no doubt in my mind about the music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's no like this is just good fucking music. You know what I mean? Like I was saying earlier, man, I don't get why I know it's getting a lot of coverage. I don't feel like it's getting what it deserves. And I don't like, maybe it catches fire and gets even bigger here in the album touring cycle or something. But if it doesn't, then I firmly believe that this will be one of those albums that gets rediscovered in like 5 or 10 years and is looked back upon as like a monumentous achievement like in music at the time. You know what I mean? When you look at the other things that are fucking, I mean, I guess it's hard for me to say because I honestly have no fucking absolute idea at all what else is on the radio right now. But I have to imagine Unsainted and All Out Life being played to death. I have to imagine. I don't know. I haven't listened to the radio. I don't know.
It's funny because I do on occasion, maybe not as much as, but I haven't heard either of them really.
I have heard Unsainted. Well, correction. No, it was All Out Life because All Out Life doesn't have any clean vocals, I don't think.
Not really. Yeah.
And it's surprised. I was like, wow, that's a single. Like that's gonna be another, like when Parkway Drive did it, another song with no clean vocals on the radio. Awesome.
Yeah.
And I talked to somebody about that. I was like, I'll be almost surprised if they play this on the radio because of that. And then they like texted me a little while later saying I just heard it on the radio. So I know that one at least was being played. But I got to imagine the rest of it is too. Yeah. And I don't know what else is big on the radio at all. Like, I literally have no idea. So
I think,
like,
I don't know.
Fuck, where was I going with that? So for like them, I feel like when this is looked back upon, like and who cares about the radio too? You know what I mean? Like nobody fucking cares about radio anymore. They just care about streams. But streams don't even fucking matter. Like, all it means is someone clicked a button. That is all it means. There's nothing deeper to that information in those numbers. Like, it doesn't mean they actually liked what they clicked on. It just means that they clicked on it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's like this fucking... I don't know. It's like... It's a weird time, especially in the music industry, because it's so fucked up right now. But... at the end of the day, I think what is something that's good persists. And it'll, even if it might be a slow burn, it'll ultimately like get the credit I think it deserves. That I don't think, like everybody's saying it's really good and everything. Like I'm not hearing anything bad about it or anything. I'm like, how is this not being talked about even more by more people? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I don't think enough people have heard it. Maybe it has to do with the fact that fucking other album just came out from that other band.
What are we talking about?
Oh, there's only one band I would talk about with this much disdain, and you know who it is.
Oh, Tool?
Yes.
Yeah.
So maybe there's a little bit of that going on right now, competing news and stuff like that.
Could be.
But I think this one will ultimately outrun it, and yeah.
I almost don't think you could put those two bands in the same conversation.
I'm just talking about not in terms of compare. No,
Yeah.
I'm just saying these are two bands that are for the layman, which is most people, in the same market.
Yeah.
They're not the same type of music, but they're in the same market.
Yeah.
They're played on the same stations. They're talked about on the same in the same articles by the same fucking, Loudwire and magazines or Facebook pages or whatever the fuck they are. You know what I mean? Like,
well, part of it is, I mean, there's a lot going on right now in terms of releases and like this has been
a crazy year.
Even looking back at all the things that have come out this year, I can't even fathom, half of this has come out already, all in the same year, in the same space, and we still have a couple months left.
We still have a handful more that are coming out.
Yeah.
This year's Filthy 15 is going to be a tough one.
Yeah.
It's going to be a real fucking tough one for me to narrow it down to 7.
I've tried to, and honestly, I think one of the reasons I'm looking forward to doing that is because I feel like where you're at with it and where I'm at with it could be two completely different.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas,
dude. Oh, we're going to have some, it's going to be weird.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to have some very different shit on that list because we've listened to very different things so far throughout the year.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Which is cool to me because the last year it was very, we were, for the most part, we were on the same page with everything, I'd say.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say so. But that's also as a result of kind of we came up with that idea a little late.
That's fair.
Like we didn't have we weren't spending the whole year thinking about it.
Yeah.
Whereas this year we have been. I've been every release I've been thinking about it. So yeah. So this year it's actually building as opposed to last year it wasn't last minute. We didn't think of it. I don't think we thought of it in December. But we thought of it towards the end of the year, and we kind of had to look back. Whereas this year, we're ready from January 1st. You know what I mean?
Following it as it goes.
Exactly. It's a different perspective that we have this time around.
Yeah. So I guess with that, right now, what are your picks?
Fuck me. Are you serious? All right. Well, okay, put it this way. I'll tell you what's on the list, but I'm not going to narrow it down.
Yeah. I just want to know what's on your radar. I guess
right now, what's on the radar, that has already been released is.
Yeah. I don't care about what's coming out. I just want to know as it stands right now. What are your ones that are for sure?
None of these are for sure.
Really?
Well, because it's more than 7.
Yeah.
We each got to come up with 7, and then we have to agree on 1. So
yeah.
But the
all right.
the list I have going right now of the ones that have been released this year so far that I've purchased, and trust me, there's even one that's already out that I haven't purchased yet, because it's not technically available in the United States. I'm gonna have to direct message the band themselves. But so far what I've bought this year in terms of new album releases is Slipknot, Convalescence, Carnifex, Thy Art Is Murder, Children of Bodom, Amon Amarth, Mark Morton, Flesh God Apocalypse, Beast in Black, and Insight. So far, those are this year's releases dude, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I already have to cut 3 off of that, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or no. There's 5 confirmed that are for sure coming out this year, and there's 4 more that might come out this year, but release dates haven't been announced yet, so they might be next year at this point. Lamb of God, I think, is at this point definitely coming out next year. D. Snyder, I think, is definitely coming out next year. I think at this point, Devil Driver is definitely coming out next year. The one up in the air, though, I think the one up in the air that still might come out this year is Anthrax. Because they've been working on that for a while, and I'm actually really excited about it because I liked the last Anthrax album a lot.
The last couple were really solid.
The last 2 were really good,
yeah.
Both of them. And they said this one, they're going crazy heavy. So I really want to hear that. I'm looking forward to that. But right now, Yeah, those are mine, and there's still a lot to come out. At least 5 that are... One that's already out, Savages, that's already out. They're a Brazilian band. If you've never heard of them, it's Savagez. And when I get that album, I will be doing a review of it. I absolutely fucking love this band. Check them out on social media and YouTube. They just released their first ever album called New Dimensions. They're from Brazil, and they're fantastic.
I like their artwork a lot.
So good.
That's cool.
And then...
they're like spacey, kind of.
And then, yeah.
Like other dimensional kind of stuff.
Wait, why do I have that written down?
What?
That's not... I must have written that down in the wrong spot.
No Whitechapel on there?
I haven't listened to it yet.
You haven't heard The Valley yet?
Nope.
What?
So I still need to hear that.
Yo.
Fit for an Autopsy is still coming out. Spite is still coming out.
Yeah, man.
Cannabis Corpse is still coming out.
I just can't believe you haven't heard The Valley yet.
No, yeah, I have not. I've not heard The Valley yet. So that's another one I need to listen to. Yep. That's another one that I still need to check out.
I guess to answer my own question, yeah, I mean there is a lot. I kind of forgot about like the Fit for an Autopsy and the what was the other? There was one other one you said. I don't remember.
Fit for an Autopsy, Cannabis Corpse, Spite.
Spite, yeah. Dude, I've been jamming to Judgment Day. You heard Judgment Day?
The new song?
Yeah.
Oh! One of my favorites they've ever released, period.
Yeah.
Like, it's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Judgment Day, Spite is a Michigan band, right?
I think you told me that, and then I found out later that they're not actually from.
Oh, really?
Yeah, let me double check.
Yeah, check that. I thought they were somewhere from like...
I said they were from Kalamazoo.
Something like that. Somewhere in the southern western part of the state. I thought.
Oh. It's what their wiki says.
Yeah? Kalamazoo?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, they are a Michigan band. Yeah, that's what I thought.
So I remember he told me that, and I was like, oh, shit. Like,
kind of fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Kind of fucking crazy, and kind of even crazier you guys haven't played with them yet. Because I think even though you guys have different kinds of music, I think your energy would mix really well in a live setting. I think that would be a great show. But
it says biography Twitter Spite CA, so California was their Twitter.
Well, CA might, who knows, that might mean something else.
See, but yeah, otherwise, yeah, that album is gonna be.
I think they're a Michigan band. Put it that way.
Yeah.
Because they sure as fuck play here a lot of one-off shows, constantly. So it seems like they're a Michigan band, but I'm not 100% sure.
We really got to go to that Chelsea Green Acacia Strain show.
I'd like to go to that.
Yeah.
I'd like to go to that.
And actually, one of the bands that's on there is somebody that I kind of forgot even released an album this year. Is Traders.
What are some? Yeah. What's on your radar?
Well, I guess to start that one, Repent. It's called Repent.
Okay.
It's just like because I think they have 5 or 6 albums out right now.
Oh wow. Okay.
But I think, and I didn't start listening to them until it's either Anger Issues or I don't know. There's one with like some chalk drawings on it. Mental State. Yeah, that's what it is. So I didn't start listening, but they have a couple different albums before that, and like, dude, Repent is so good. Like it's a really solid like.
Traders? Is that the name of the band?
Yeah. If you're into,
I've heard that name.
Yeah.
No, I have.
I'll have to play some of it a little later. But yeah, dude, like just straight like ignorant, like breakdown, like beat down kind of stuff. But it's like it's a lot of like I don't know. A lot of the lyrics are really like, more focused on like social issues and
that's
like
cool.
Different things like that. There's a lot of like I think what is it? The hate campaign that came out a couple of years ago is pretty like there's a lot of like samples and stuff of like police calls and crazy stuff like that. That's kind of like weaved into all the like the between the songs and stuff, which is
cool.
Really sick. Yeah. So that's what, and that came out in like January, like first part of January
this year.
Yeah.
Okay.
So and that was one. I think that was the first one that I actually bought because I was like, dude, this is like this is sick. I love this.
Yeah.
I like for whatever reason, I think this year more than past, I've really gone down that hole of like like hardcore. I've gotten like really into like hardcore, like beatdown kind of stuff.
I would say this year more than any other, I've gotten into like deathcore.
Yeah.
Like honestly, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like we've definitely both like expanded our horizons this year on this stuff. Like we've gotten into some stuff we've never gotten into before.
Yeah.
And that's just really exciting.
I'd say Vulvodynia put out Mob Justice.
Yeah,
which
I haven't heard that
sick
yet.
As fuck, dude.
I do need to listen to that one.
Yeah, man. South African Slam.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Dude, Mob Justice is sick.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, man. Like sometimes people, they don't like when, the breakdown. They don't like the gallop. They don't like, those kind of like the 808s or whatever. Like they don't like those like easy crowd pleasers, I guess you could call them.
Yeah, the metal, like the tropes kind of.
Yeah,
like
the tropes, yeah. Like, dude, I'm a fucking sucker for every single one. Like, you give me a good gallop, I will fucking jam that shit. You give me a good, like, 808 fucking breakdown. Oh! Oh! God! I love that shit. Now, don't get me wrong. I love the fucking just straightforward relentlessness. Yeah, I like it all, I like at the end of the fucking day. God, yeah, there is some things that are referred to as metal that I don't care for. But at the end of the day, I also like the whole range of metal. I like everything from fucking cannibal to glam to fucking deathcore to fucking hardcore to I'll find something in almost everything. Yeah. That even new metal. Like, for a long time, new metal was the one I stayed away from the farthest. Yeah. But now I'm fucking... I have an newfound appreciation for it.
Oh, man.
And, like...
If you're trying to get into some really solid,
all of it.
Like, new metal stuff, I'd say, like LD50 from Mudvayne. Like, their first record.
See, Mudvayne pisses me off a little bit. Just because, like, I loved Dig so much, and then nothing else ever sounded like Dig.
Yeah. Well,
so it was like,
I'll say,
what was that?
Yeah, if you liked the self-titled Slipknot record and Iowa, like parts of Iowa, I'd say I would check out LD50. And also, I think Lost and Found is really cool, but there's a lot of like radio songs that are on there that are more like along the catchy side of things.
That's another thing that people don't like when you insert melody or catchiness into metal. Look,
if the song calls for it, man, that's where I'm at.
Look. I've listened to fucking South of Heaven and Rain and Blood and Eaten Back to Life and fucking Butchered at Birth. Carcass. Or old Carcass. I've heard all of it. Yeah. Guess what? I fucking love it. I love that shit. Yeah. Okay? I love that shit. But you want to know what else? I also love catchy shit. Like, I love the catchy hooks on the new Slipknot album. Like, you know what I mean? Like, stuff that gets stuck in my head. I like that, too. Yeah. I like it both. You know what I mean? You don't need to just be one or the other. You know what I mean, Zan? Like, it's not, don't be a sub-genre elitist. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's okay to like it all. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's fucking, because it's all fucking. And the more that you like, the more options you have, the more fun you get to have, the more shows you get to go to, the more fucking people you get to meet, the more you have to talk about, the more you have to be excited about. You know what I mean? The more releases and shows you have to be excited about, the better as far as I'm fucking concerned. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Just like what you fucking like. Don't give a fuck about the subgenre. If something hits your ears, makes you feel, and you enjoy it, then enjoy it. Don't give a fuck. That's what metal is about. Yeah. Not giving a fuck. We like what we like. Fuck off. Period. End of discussion. It's not a phase. It's not a fad. This is the way we live our fucking lives. Yeah. Okay? Like, when someone, you know what I'm saying? When you got a t-shirt on and you're in public and someone asks you, do you like that kind of music? If the first thought that goes through your head isn't, no, I live my life by this music, then that's fine. But if it is, then that's what it is. Period. End discussion. You know what I mean? Like, that's all that should matter to you is the way it makes you fucking feel. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's one of the, I think, a big change in how I'm thinking about my list in terms of where everything is and stuff. And it's mostly, I mean, because I'm the type of person that I love heavy stuff with a message and with something that has, you know. But I also like, as much as I like that stuff, I also like just the dumb heavy stuff. Just the violent, like, you know.
Dude. Okay, what's a good? As much as I love. Damn it, I'm blanking on the name of the song. As much as I love virtually any song from Rage Against the Machine, which is every song is highly political. Every song is highly rebellious. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like the leads, I can't remember. It's fucking so bad with names.
Zach De La Roca.
The singer of Rage could be argued as the most pissed off man in hard rock heavy metal history. Okay, there is an argument to be made there, is all I'm saying. However, as much as I love that and the message and all that stuff, you want to know what else I like? Cannibal Corpse.
Sometimes you just want to hear
fire up the chainsaw and cut their fucking heads off, bro. Oh my god. Oh.
And that's I mean, same kind of thing. Like I love Architects, you know, but sometimes I'm in the mood to hear just some like.
That's an album that came out this year, isn't it?
No, that came out last year.
Oh really?
Yeah, because that was on the list last year. But I only bring that up because
that's right.
Yeah, I only bring that up because I was just listening to him the other day. But you know, as much as I love, and even like, you know, like Parkway Drive and stuff like that, you know, sometimes I just want to hear some like Suffocation and some like, you know, some like Misery Index or something like, you know, something like that.
Nasty.
Yeah.
Nasty. See, that's what go on.
I will say, like, I guess the one other one that I'll put out there that's on the list for sure is a band I've been listening to recently. They're called Humanity's Last Breath.
I haven't even heard of them.
Dude, I got to show you some of that stuff.
Yeah.
It is. They put out, well, they've had a couple of albums, I think, but the last one that they put out is called Abyssal.
Okay.
Or Abysmal, I think. One of those two.
Abysmal's Dahlia.
Yeah. So it must be Abyssal then. But yeah, dude, just the tone of it and just like some of the like the lines in it just get stuck in your head and stuff, and like it's stuff like that just, you know, like as much as I like the heartfelt kind of like stuff that I can like really attach myself to, a lot of times, you know, unless I'm in that mood, sometimes I just want to hear something that just crushes me, I guess.
Yeah, dude.
You know?
And that's what I fucking love about heavy metal as just this entity that it is, because when you're not, you know, when you don't concern yourself with being attached to one specific subgenre, then you get the full range. You get heavy metal for no matter what fucking mood you're in, no matter what day it is, no matter how you're feeling or what's going on in your life, there is metal that you can attach to that. You know what I mean? That can help you through that. You know what I mean? Like, or just make it better. You know what I mean? Make a good situation even better. Like, fucking, it's such a variety of options in the family of heavy metal. That's one of my favorite things about it by far. Like that makes, oh God. Like, are you kidding me? Like I'm like a fucking diehard, someone as diehard as me can be in love with Dio and Cannibal Corpse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I love them both so much. Holy shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's fucking, but they're two such vastly different things, but they're both undeniably heavy metal. Undeniably. So, yeah, I fucking love it so much, man.
Well, and I think one of the other bands that I've been really paying attention to, just because they're just interesting, like they're just different, is I really like Spirit Box.
Another one I don't
Spirit
know.
Box, dude. Like it's. I mean, well, I guess for one, they're one of those bands where you kind of got to be in the mood for that sort of thing, because a lot of the music is very like atmospheric and kind of like ambient sort of. But there's also, and I think I could be wrong about this, but I think there's a band called I Wrestle the Bear once.
I've heard of them.
Yeah. And so I think their vocalist is now singing for like with Spirit Box. So
okay.
And it's heavy and there's like harsh vocals on it, but there's also a really cool like vibe to it. And there's, she does a lot of like cleans and stuff to it, but it all like it makes sense and it fits within the music and it makes you like feel something and stuff. So
nice.
Yeah.
Here's a question for you. What have you gotten into anything lately that isn't metal? Just to show off the fact that like, not show off, that's the wrong word. Just to it's a complete wrong word. Just to like illustrate. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Fucking illustrate that, while I literally listen to heavy metal every single day of my life, there are tracks in other genres that make me feel so fucking good.
Yeah.
It's undeniable.
Yeah.
It's undeniable. And you know what I do in my head? Like in my fucking head, like when I hear some of these songs, like I dissect it. I dissect everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm a fucking weirdo, right? Like I dissect everything in my head because at a point in time in my life, I was dealing with like some pretty heavy fucking depression and I didn't even fully realize it. And it was as a result of like, cause I was really, really into philosophy. Like every class I took at one point in school was a philosophy related class.
Yeah.
And like I took every philosophy class that they offered at Lansing Community College. And yeah, every single one. Like I was obsessed with it. And like every night, my buddy Jordan, who's been on the podcast before, I talk about sometimes I started this podcast to capture conversations with my friends that I have and that I think are amazing. Some of those conversations are philosophy conversations with Jordan specifically, like because we were both just so into it. Jordan's not a metalhead at all, so this is something else that we connected on. And it got to this point though where it was like I was philosophically dissecting everything into nothing. Like I even at one point remember getting to the point where I was like, okay, what do I love more than anything? Music, heavy metal. And then I dissected that to ultimately be nothing but a set of vibrations. Like every song you've ever heard, every word you've ever heard spoken, every sound that has ever hit your ears is nothing but a vibration. That's it. That's all it fucking is. You can literally reduce it to nothingness.
Yeah.
And, I was at that point and I was thinking those thoughts and I was just like, but ultimately I have a choice. And that choice is recognize, like it's kind of three choices. Recognize it as nothing and live in that existence. Ignore that it's nothing and live in that existence. Or accept that it's nothing, but also accept how it makes you feel on a very deep and genuine level. And it makes me feel incredible. Mm. Like it makes me feel good and happy and like nothing but positivity.
Yeah.
So fucking, you know what I mean? Like fuck. Forgot why I was telling that story. God damn it. This keeps happening tonight. Do you remember? How did I get down that path?
We were talking about music that makes you feel something, and you were saying that
because ultimately, yes, there it is. Thank you so fucking much. Oh my God. Different genres.
Yeah.
So ultimately to me, you know what I mean? Like heavy metal as a genre is more than a genre. It's something that you can live your life by. It's a positive thing. It's filled, especially nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Like back in the day, the fucking looked at it so bad. All of them are, drugs and sex and rock and roll. You know what I mean? Mm. That was the thing. Now,
Nobody talks about that.
No. What do they talk about? I'm vegan.
Yeah.
I'm sober. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
PMA, positive mental attitude.
Oh.
Look, I'm not vegan and I'm not sober. But I'm also not like a fucking addict to anything. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not even, you know what I mean? Like I'm just not, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But except for metal. And so now the metal community now, my point was the metal community now is more positive than it's ever been. It's about releasing negative energy in a positive way.
Mm.
Negative energy that we all have. And if you understand it and when it hits your ears it makes you feel, you get it.
Yeah.
That's all it takes. That's it. But if it doesn't, it doesn't. If you don't, you don't. That's fine. Whatever. But even for us crazy fucking metalheads, even for diehards as hard as us, that doesn't mean even the people like us that listen to it literally every single day, and people like you that play it, that doesn't mean that's all that makes us feel.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's why another band that I could talk about is that are actually coming out with a new record that I'm really excited about is Norma Jean.
I'd still call them metal.
Yeah. I mean, they're more of like a metalcore kind of band, I guess.
They're still in the family.
Yeah. But like it's stuff like that, and I guess it kind of goes back to like your roots really. Because before all of, getting really super invested into like death metal and into like, slam and stuff like that, for me it was like metalcore bands. It was like Parkway Drive and like even Slipknot, like just stuff that I can relate to in a certain sense, even if it's not like a direct representation of what they're talking about. I still feel like I can relate to it in some sense because it's so open to your own interpretation.
Yes,
yeah.
You find it.
Yeah.
That's another thing that I forgot. Another piece of it that I forgot about. I was going to say, what I find when I dissect stuff down to its, and I still do that, just in a different way.
Yeah.
And one of the things I do is when I hear a song of a different genre that makes me feel at all, or like, something that I really, really like for whatever reason, I will dissect it and figure out why I like it. And 9 times out of 10, I'm literally able in my head to like, it's the same reasons why I like some heavy metal songs that I like. Like the song is this other song that's not heavy metal, but it's essentially doing the same thing that many heavy metal songs do.
Yeah.
Not necessarily following like the same pattern or anything like that, or like musical notes or whatever, but like there's just something, I find something about it in my head to make it metal, basically, is in a sense of what I do.
Right.
So, you know what I mean? It's just like this fucking, yeah, I do that. So what's something that's not metal that you've gotten into this year? Like not metal at all. Like could not ever be in the family.
Oh man, I'm sure there's a lot.
There's got to be something.
The only reason I say that is because I can't think of anything offhand. The only thing I can think of is, and maybe, I don't know, I guess because I know Tech 9 put out something new this year.
Okay.
And
did you listen to it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do every day for whatever reason.
Oh, you like it a lot.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. All right.
Like and I don't know what it is about his music and stuff, but like it's his whole like story and his whole like, I mean, I guess some of it is more in on the focus of like traditional like hip hop stuff or whatever, but like to me, I've always been, I guess, inspired by lyricists, by people that
me
can.
Too.
And it's why I still like Eminem. I still like, especially anybody on Strange Music. I'd say like Schoolboy Q, like TDE.
I'm not familiar with them, but okay.
Yeah, those kind of rappers and stuff. Like, even going back, like to like Tupac, like Biggie Smalls, like the Notorious B.I.G. and stuff. Like that was something I got really into last year that I didn't expect to really get into. But like to me it's the storytelling elements of it, and it's what they're saying rather than just having like the regular like mumble rap kind of like hip hop stuff that that's going around right now. Like I guess you could kind of say the same thing about metal, because there's a lot of bands that are doing different things that I don't really care for too much, but it's because it's not really done in a way that can relate to me, and like it's not really in. That's not to say that's not good, but it's just like I don't see it quite the same way that maybe somebody else does. So I guess to kind of go back to like the metal side of things, and we were just talking about Kill Switch, because they put out Atonement, I think it's called.
They just dropped a new one.
Yeah.
Another big release this
year. And I liked it a lot. There were a lot of different songs on it, but like there were certain points of it where like and not to discredit them in any way, but I just felt like there were certain points of it where I kind of felt like I was like, yeah, like this just ain't really for me. Like this isn't really like what I want to hear. This isn't really like what I'm interested in. But that doesn't mean it's bad necessarily. So yeah, I guess I'd say like, in terms of stuff that like is surprising, I mean, a lot of times I find that things that I find relatable and things that I'm into, I usually go back to to like the older stuff. Like I didn't think I was gonna be as into Deep Purple as I am.
They're really good.
But yeah, dude, they're in like their songs and stuff, and I don't know, and just so. But as far as like this year, what's come out, I don't really know. Because for the most part, like I've searched out things that I've wanted to hear at the time, and maybe that's why I'm having such a hard time coming up with anything, because it's really because like I don't know, because to me, all right, so A Day to Remember put out a new song last week, okay, and it is as opposite as you can get in terms of like their older stuff and in terms of being metal, okay. It is like pop punk kind of like
fair. Fair, and I haven't heard it, and I'm not very familiar with them at all.
Yeah,
but I mean, I would still put them in the umbrella, at least. Like, are they in the metal family? I would put them in the middle. Like, they're, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I would. I mean, they're, as far as like where they sit and everything, it almost seems like, because for one, each album is pretty different from each other, and there's no real way to like box them into any specific genre. And it's kind of what's cool about Norma Jean as well. Because they're, I mean, at their core, they're very much like a metalcore, like a hardcore band kind of, but they also have like their singing elements and like the things that kind of make them a little more accessible, I'd say. So I would put like, I don't know, because A Day to Remember started out really as more of a, I guess I would put them up there with like crossover bands, bands that get other people into metal, like into like heavier music and stuff, and I could see. I could see somebody listening to them and then going on to like Parkway Drive and then into like, bigger, more like actual what you think of when you think of metalcore. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that kind of thing. And I guess in a way you could put Norma Jean in there as well, but they're more of like a, like, I don't know. They have a lot of like harder kind of like, I don't want to say like rock stuff, but some of the riffs and some of like the choruses and things are a little more accessible, I guess. And that's the only word I can think to describe it. I mean, there could be something else that I could use, but like it's kind of bands like that I kind of look at, and maybe I think what I'm more surprised about is going back to bands that I have kind of forgotten about and like really kind of getting back into that may or may not still be in the same genre. Whether or not that matters or not, I'm not sure. So yeah, I mean, I don't really know. As far as those two, like, I can't really think of any others that are like surprising, I guess, this year that I've gotten into. I mean, like I said, I've always had an appreciation for lyricism and like in it, not only just in hip hop and stuff, but in metal and in like hardcore and stuff. And but yeah, as far as like specific examples, I had no idea.
I too am a sucker for great lyricism.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, I credit Preston with my I certainly, like, I honestly, you know what? I should talk to him about this because I don't necessarily know his views on this. I also don't know if he had this, I don't know if he knows that he had this kind of impact on me and that I took it kind of the way that I did, or if it's even the way he takes it. But at a time, like when I was younger, okay, full disclosure, when I was younger, I was much more of a metal elitist. Okay?
I was too.
That's why I speak so much against it now, because I was it when I was younger.
You can only really speak from what you know a lot of times.
Exactly.
So.
And I'm just not anymore. And I credit that in part and my view on genres and just letting it make you feel to Preston, because he, you know, there was like a point in time, and that point in time really hasn't ended. It still happens to this day, but where I would like go out and see him, and he would just like, we'd get, you know, drunk or something, and he would just play like a fucking song that isn't even close to heavy metal, but like that he's just been listening to lately and he loves because it makes him feel a certain way. And like 9 times out of 10, it would have like a very similar effect on me. I'd end up falling in love with many of these artists as well.
I remember there was a time where I think it was when we went to the whatever that, I don't remember whatever convention that we went to. We were trying to meet D. Snyder.
Motor City, or no, it was
it
Astronomicon.
Astronomicon, that's right. Yeah, I remember when we were driving down there, he was playing Misfits.
Oh, and yeah. He likes Danzig a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's sick. And to be honest, I didn't cuz I knew about him cuz I used to be pretty into punk music, but I never really gave him a full chance to. And like ever since, I'm like, you know, he was playing songs and I was like, all of a sudden I was like, man, like, I really kind of want to, you know,
when we get, man, yeah, like, man, you know, sometime his house is under a little construction right now, but either this weekend or the following weekend, I'm going to go out there. You should join me.
Yeah.
And we should all just get drunk together, because when him and I when we get drunk together, it's like he'll put on, like, I think he'll intentionally try to either fuck with or surprise people, but from a genuine place, to where it's like, I'm not just putting this on just to fuck with you. I also like it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And like one of those, I mean, but like, yeah. So like I kind of credit my appreciation for a variety of genre and all the subgenres under the umbrella in the family of heavy metal, to him in some ways for kind of taking me off of that track and being like, yeah, fuck it. If it makes you feel, it makes you feel. And that's all that matters.
Yeah.
So, but one of the ones I would say, I'd say for me personally, I don't know if the album came out this year or last year. I'll have to look into that. But, I mean, probably the weirdest one for me that got me this year so far, and I found it through a podcast because it's the intro song on Theo Vaughn's podcast. This past weekend is the name of his podcast, which I love. Everybody should check that out. But he is friends with members of the band Bishop Gunn, and they have some songs out. And the song that he uses for the intro is called Shine. That's the first one I got into. They're like light rock. They're light southern rock.
Oh, hell yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's cool,
they're not Skinnered, but they're also not country. You know what I mean? You know what?
I guess
I've got a fucking couple drinks in me. I don't give a fuck if this shit like, hopefully the microphones can't hear this. But
I guess in a sense, that's kind of what got me about Clutch so much. They were one of those bands that I got really into. I don't know if it was this year or last year, but yeah.
Just makes you feel.
Oh
God damn it. Fucking, yeah. It just, like, this band in particular kind of gives me, like, if you've ever heard the song Sitting on the Dock of the Bay, first of all, if you haven't, fuck yourself. Because you need to go here. It's one of the greatest songs ever. Like, Sitting on the Dock of the Bay is incredible. And this music gives me that kind of a feel. It's Southern music, but it also is like perfect Northern Michigan summertime music.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
there's definitely something to be said about like when you put something on it just takes you back or takes you somewhere.
Takes you to a place.
Yeah.
If I want to go to that place, I can just put this on.
Yeah.
And feel it. You know what I mean?
You should check out they're called Rival Sons.
In my bones.
They're kind of like this a little bit, but they're a little more like along the rock side of things. It's called Rival Sons.
Okay.
They're pretty sick.
Okay. Rival what?
Rival Sons.
Sons?
Yeah.
Okay.
They've had a couple of songs on the radio, but they're really like, you know.
Fuck! God, I love this song. All right, I gotta stop because I don't want us to get in trouble on YouTube. But shout out to Bishop Gunn. Shout out to Theo Vaughn for introducing. You know, that's one of my favorite things is when I find music through a podcast. Another one was the Trailer Park Boys podcast. They have one of the things I love. Like, if I were here in Michigan and as famous as the Trailer Park Boys, I would be taking notes. Because one of the things that I love that they do, especially on their podcast, is they give a spotlight to people they think they deserve it from Canada that might not get a bigger spotlight otherwise. You know what I mean? They give them the opportunity to step on their stage, which in the Trailer Park Boys stage is a worldwide stage at this point.
May as well be,
They toured the world, bro.
Yeah.
And one of the artists that they had on once was a guy named Matt Anderson. I'm sure you've never heard of him. He's been around for a long time, and I think he is pretty big up in Canada. But I had never heard of him before the Trailer Park Boys podcast, and man, like his album "An Honest Man" is what I'm familiar with. I'm not really familiar with. He's like I said, he's been around for a while, but "An Honest Man," he might have released something new since then. This was a couple years ago, but. Fuck, dude. There are some tracks on that album that get me. Like, fuck, dude. I'm going to have to play some of the... You know what? Hold on a second. Shit. I've had a couple drinks and...
Man,
we got this bowl sitting here. I'm just like, I want to hear music. Fuck.
I'll say
this is what getting lost in the Crypt's like. Well, you'll say what?
I'll say that I think I have the same feeling because I guess I don't know to kind of go back. I grew up on I mean it was a big mix of stuff, but I guess the one thing that was always kind of that still is a little bit kind of around the house is like blues music. For whatever reason, I really love like deep South blues music.
My the only rock band really there's one that could be in the umbrella of heavy metal. Like there are two bands that I really connected with that my dad is the one that introduced me to them. Kiss and Tom Petty.
Oh, hell yeah.
Outside of that though, the other shit my dad like had me listening to long before I found heavy metal. Muddy Waters.
Yeah, dude.
Howlin' Wolf. B.B. King.
Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Stevie Ray Vaughan. Yeah, a little bit Stevie Ray Vaughan. Yeah. Yep, absolutely.
That
like lots of. I saw B.B. King live.
Hell yeah.
B.B. King
That's
came
awesome.
to Michigan State once.
Huh.
Played at like some little hall on Michigan State, and we went and watched him play. This was at a point. This was very late in his life, just a few years before he died.
Yeah.
And he was sitting down in the chair, but my God.
Right.
Like at the time, I probably didn't take it in as much as I should have.
No,
but
you
when I
never do,
look,
really.
no, especially when you're that young. I was real young.
Yeah.
But not real young. Like, I was into music at that point. I was into metal at that. I was in my metal elitist phase. You know what I mean? So I'm going to see B.B. King.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, when I look back on that, I'm so happy that I went because fuck.
Oh,
fuck.
dude.
And then and then I discovered him on my own, Robert Johnson.
Yep.
Fuck me, dude. Like, yeah. Blues is such a precursor to metal too in so many ways, especially
to rock music in general.
Yeah, absolutely. And
the blues had a baby and they named it rock and roll, man. It's something dumb my dad always says, but it's true. Without blues music and without stuff like that, we wouldn't really know metal as it is.
And rock and roll had a demon baby, and it was heavy metal.
Exactly. So yeah, I mean
666, the number of the beast. But yeah, dude, this Honest Man, this album, the song Honest Man is great. From Matt Anderson.
You know what really gets me is like the darker.
Oh wait, shit. Hold on.
The more like darker side of like blues and like bluegrass music, kind of.
Oh
know
yeah,
what I mean, like the backwoods kind of like.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to think of who I can reference for that. For that kind of sound, but
dude, this song right here. Is he gonna go? Quiet Company. Oh, fuck, dude. There was a point in time where every single morning when I woke up and I'm taking a shower and getting ready for the day, the first things I want to hear are this song and a Jay and Silent Bob podcast. Like, that was a few months of my life where that was it every morning. Oh my God, look at all this bullshit pop up. And the loading takes forever. What the fuck? I got a fucking Wi-Fi booster down here. I don't understand why it still takes so long. God damn it. I'm not going to do this if it's going to skip. Fuck. Yeah, fuck off. We'll play it later. Well, I'll play it for you later. But anyway.
I'll say, I think not so much this year, but like...
Yeah, because I discovered this a few years ago. Matt Anderson, was not this year.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I have a lot of weird like one-off bands I listen to that like I feel like I would be kind of like not so much embarrassed, but I feel like would kind of like surprise people.
Look,
I'm into.
Hey.
I'm not embarrassed by anything I listen to. Yeah.
You shouldn't be, because there's no such thing as fuck a guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck if it makes me feel good. If I like it, fuck off.
Yeah.
I'm a fucking metalhead. I don't fucking care. Like, you know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, that's what being a metalhead is. I like what I like. Fuck off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's not bothering you, and it's making my life better. So,
I think Paramore falls in that. I don't know how much Paramore.
Never been into that. I've never. I don't know them,
dude.
I never like went to a Warped Tour. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I only went like once or twice, I think, but I never. I mean, they were dope.
They had Parkway was there a lot. Of shit.
But yeah, dude, there's something about their first 3 albums that's so like it's just nostalgic to me.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah, man.
Like, and it was so weird because I got really into them around the same time that I discovered Dahlia. And I remember specifically because I was really into like it was Paramore and like Avenged, because the self-titled, the one with the white cover, came out, and it was around the same time where like my class was taking like this trip to like DC. And I guess like those are the 2 that I was listening to most. But I guess like when we came back, like I guess it was those. It was I think it was like Mesmerized, Hypnotized from System of a Down.
Oh,
and,
classics.
And a couple others, I think. But like for whatever reason, Paramore and like the song, because it was around the same time when like Headbangers Ball was kind of on its way out, and I heard Horrible Night to Have a Curse on that. I saw the video for it, and like it was around the same time like Whitechapel and stuff. But before all that, it was on that trip, and it was those 2, and it was Volume 3. I remember specifically, It was that album. It was the random Paramore that I was into, and then it was just some like other stuff. For some reason, like even now, whenever I listen back to them, I'm like, man, like there's a feeling to this. Like it just takes me back,
Hell yeah.
Like,
Fuck yeah, dude.
So
Fuck yeah.
yeah.
Hey.
But also, and like to me, any blues artists or blues like guitar players that like it takes me back to like the dead of summer.
Yeah.
Like watching because like and that was one of the things that I always used to do with my parents and stuff is like going to like blues and like jazz fests and stuff and just like hanging out outside and stuff. And like so that sound and like the sound of like that solo guitar, you know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Any like random blues
That fucking twang.
Yeah, dude. Like all that just kind of like takes me back to like summer. You know what I'm saying? Like,
isn't it crazy? Like I think I don't think we're very unique in that. I think a lot of people that are like real crazy heavy metal nerds do also. I think a lot of them might also like Southern American fucking blues, because like a lot of like I don't know, maybe not a lot, but like some of my all-time favorite fucking metal bands, Pantera, Lamb of God, are Southern American metal bands. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Oh, there's a reason for that.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's a goddamn reason. So yeah, it's just it's something that classical music is another one that like it's something I like, big, full, literally heavy sounding classical music is something that I don't really ever seek it out, but I like it when I hear it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think my love of black metal, like symphonic black metal, kind of led me down that road a little bit because for a long time I never really appreciated it. I just kind of saw it as like this big, like complex, complicated music and stuff, and it is. Absolutely, it is.
It is, yeah.
But I always kind of saw it as something that was just kind of like not so much like out of reach, but something I just didn't really consider as like an important part of what's going on. But really, like, you go back as far as you can think, and like early classical music was heavy at one point.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of why I think because there's some, and it might have been that kind of led me to getting really into Flesh God. Because I can see that. I love that dark style of like orchestration.
Yeah,
and that big,
Dimmu was it for me. Yeah.
I think it was Agony when that came out. I was like, dude, this is it. Like this, you know what I'm saying? Like this, there's something about that. Even still now, that like, just the big like pieces and stuff, and just all like the layering that goes on with it, and just how deep and complex it is. Like at its, I guess at its core, it's just like a death metal band, I guess. But like, there's so much more than that. There's so much more to unpack, really. And I think that the curiosity of wanting to be into like, just I don't know. There's something about like darker classical music to me that just it's so cool.
Yeah.
And there's so many different bands and so many different things that you could take from it, and I don't know. It's just I've always seen it as really like, kind of like what you're saying. Like I don't know if I would necessarily seek it out, even though I kind of like I have before in terms of like trying to find that sound, but I don't know if I would necessarily like sit down and want to listen to it for an extended amount of time. But
it's pretty rare.
Yeah.
It's pretty rare that any movie will make me feel as good as having just been to a live show.
Yeah.
But it has happened from time to time.
Well, how many times have you been watching a movie and you've gone and like looked the soundtrack up because you just thought that it was such a
Well, yeah, I have done that a few times. Even if they're not like songs, it's just the music, like the new Godzilla movie or that one especially.
Yeah.
But or like I will always love the theme music to Jurassic Park, the original. But it's very rare. One of those movies that will do that for me every time, which is because of the way it makes me feel, probably I will say makes it my favorite documentary of all time, is Metal: A Headbanger's Journey by Banger TV and Sam Dunn. Shout out to all of them. They are gods in my book.
They're like half the reason why we're sitting here doing
Yeah.
the show.
Yeah, like that documentary inspired me. Like I saw it many, 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 many years ago, and it still inspires me to this day.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite fucking scenes in that documentary is the scene where it has I can't remember if it's Mozart, someone playing a Mozart or Bach solo on piano, and it just bleeds right into Eddie Van Halen playing Eruption.
Oh yeah, I remember that part. Yeah.
And it's perfect. Like just it's illustrating the similarities between the classical and the heavy metal music.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely one of my favorite scenes ever in any documentary ever, period. Like, it's brilliant. If you have not seen Metal A Headbanger's Journey, look. If you're listening to this, and even if you're not, are you going to go to the bathroom? I can pause this. But even fucking if you're not a fucking metalhead, okay? Even if you're not a fucking metalhead, watch this fucking movie, okay? Like, it can connect to anyone, and even if you don't love heavy metal, this movie will give you an understanding of it, and it will give you an appreciation of it. Like, there are fucking documentaries that I love that have nothing to do with. The reason why I love them is because of the appreciation it gave me for this new topic, because I didn't know very much at all going in. And afterwards, I'm like, oh, that was really great. And I enjoyed that. You know what I mean? Like, it gets me into shit. So even if you're not fucking into heavy metal off the bat right now, listen, watch this fucking movie. Like, it will give you a perspective on the genre and the subgenres as a whole that I don't think has ever been better illustrated in anything on film that I've ever seen. So, and yeah, and part of that documentary, there's a whole section about it on connecting it to classical music and that influence, also blues. But yeah, like that particular scene with that bleeding into that guitar solo from the piano.
Yeah.
Oh, gets me every time. Really does. Love that shit. Love that shit. But yeah, so fucking all right, so yeah, we've talked about some fucking weird music. Some outside of the box stuff, some non-heavy metal stuff. A little bit. Just some of that fucking southern fucking soul. You know what it's soul.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that's what it is. Because to me, I think there's a real argument to be made that heavy metal is the most soulful music that exists.
Yeah.
Because it because in certain kinds of heavy metal, what it requires is it requires for you to put more into it than any other form of music, in my opinion.
Oh, it's definitely the most,
emotional.
Yeah. I stray from using the term visceral, but
visceral. It's fucking yeah. That's what we love about it. That's what draws us to it. Is like its nature of raw fucking visceral fucking intensity. Like it's music itself turned up to 11. It's and I mean, I think there's an argument to be made that music itself is art, which is ultimately just expression of emotion in some form or another. So,
well, I'd still,
yeah,
with the exception of like blues and like other forms like that, I would say it's definitely the most honest, and like because you can pretty much say anything that you're anything that you want to say in the span of like a 3-minute song or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, I agree. It's fucking to me, it's the most like honest and outward expression of emotion, you know what I mean? Like in general. So
yeah.
Yeah, it's just fucking. Oh man. Yeah, another conversation just about heavy metal, pretty much. Like I don't even know what the fuck to title this episode. Jesus Christ.
Figured out.
You know what I'll come up with something. I got something. I might have something. But yeah, like that's fucking. Man, there's nothing else like it, is there? Like there really isn't. I mean, music itself, but
well, that's the thing that I kind of keep going back to, because on the one hand, yeah, I agree. Like in terms of the intensity and in terms of like lyricism and everything else, like to me, it's the most unique thing as far as like self-expression goes in terms of like creating art for the sake of it,
Yeah.
But then like, and I always think about it, like from the outside perspective. It's like, like there's other people that may see the same thing in like, in like regular, like, okay, so electronic music's really, really solid right now.
It's big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe there's somebody else that sees that as the most honest, the most honest form of things. And to a point, to its credit, it kind of is like and I guess to kind of come full circle, like, all music is that, that form of extreme, expression of something that you believe in and kind of something that you follow. But something that is always interesting to me, not to any discredit of, any of the other genres or anything like that. It's like what makes it the most extreme and the most diverse to me is how I see and how you react to it. That is different from any other. So, and I guess to kind of to go back a little bit, I mean, as far as shows and stuff go, in terms of experiencing it live, that is really where I feel like it comes into play. And I feel like that's really what separates it from every other form. Because you could easily say that about any style of music. You could say that about blues music. You could say that about, but it's the reaction, it's the response to it that sets it apart from, just a regular, like what the main, I guess, I don't know. I hate the term mainstream, but like, I guess like the general public, I guess I'd say. That's kind of what separates it from, and it's really what you take from it that makes it what it is. And
I don't know,
because
okay, look. I think there are fuck.
Because I'll say like, so a lot of, from what I've gathered, because I used to kind of dabble with it a little bit in terms of like the electronic stuff, okay? Like there's a lot of stuff in terms of like lyrics and in terms of like what the songs are actually about and how they make you feel and stuff. Like, there are certain electronic songs that like you turn on, you just like you hear and they kind of evoke an emotion in you.
Right. But is that see, here's the thing. Okay. I guess with electronic music, I guess I can't. I'll speak to the other genres in a minute, but with electronic music specifically, and maybe that's what we should do. Maybe we should get people that are as into metal or as into music as we are into metal, but just into other genres, on here to talk to and see how they feel about their genres.
Mm.
Maybe that's something we should look into, because I don't know if I agree with you that people would think that electronic music is like the most honest music or whatever. Like, man, maybe the people that actually make it would think that, but I don't know if the fans would, because you gotta consider like think about it. You know what I mean? Like, really, like, think about what one of those concerts looks like. You know what I mean? Like that, what it looks like to me is not something I would ever describe as a genuine emotional visceral reaction. I agree with you that they are making songs, or they are making music with the arguable sole purpose to elicit an emotion with sound.
Mm.
That's what they're going for.
Right.
However, that in all of it that I've ever heard, none of the emotions that they are trying to elicit are ever, I would ever describe as visceral or deeply genuine. I would describe them as the easy ones. The 808 drops, the gallops, the breakdowns. So, you know what I mean? Like, it's the cheap shots in a sense that they're eliciting.
Well,
in the hang on, in the context. No, you're good. You're good. In the context of electronic music, I would. That's the argument there I would make, and I guess in the terms of any other genre, and like we've talked about, you and I obviously have a very deep appreciation for music in general and a very deep appreciation for other genres outside of heavy metal. However, I don't know what your experience has been. Personally, for me, I've kind of, like, with a certain few exceptions, I've kind of gotten to the point where I'm like, again, with some exceptions, I'm at the point where I'm kind of like, I don't really think I need to go see any of these musicians live that aren't in the heavy metal genre. Because every time I do it, it's just, and it's not because of their performance, it's because of the crowd. It's because what I'm used to in a crowd is chaos.
Yeah.
It's joyful, exuberant chaos. And if that's not happening, if everybody's just standing still, watching, not doing anything, I don't get that. I don't understand that. I don't fucking understand what's going on right now. They are on stage playing that, and all of you are just standing here just watching?
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense to me. That is not a visceral reaction. That is not how I feel when I'm in that crowd. I can't connect with that.
Yeah.
I connect with the general reaction of, holy fucking shit, are you seeing this right now? Like, that's what I connect with.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? When I go to a show and it's not that, it's just not, it's always just a little disappointing to me, you know what I mean? And it has nothing to do with the artist's performance. It has to do with the crowd's reaction. And for some reason, nobody but a metal crowd knows how to fucking act for a fucking concert. Everybody just stands the fuck still, and I don't get that.
Yeah.
I don't get that. Move, motherfucker. Are you serious? Look at what you're looking at, for Christ's sake. Put your fucking phone down. Like, my God. And I know, I take a lot of videos. You see them on the Instagram at the shows. But guess what? For the total of 2 to 3 minutes of videos that I take, there were 54 other minutes of chaos that I did not have the physical ability to raise my phone in my hand because I was losing my fucking mind. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think what's most curious about that, and what I've always kind of, because I mean, so you and I probably see that, and I'm sure a lot of other people that are into this kind of more extreme music see that as, on an equal playing field. And I would say that for the majority, I'd say about 99%, I would agree with you on that. But there is that 1% of, it's, and there's always that side of things where it's just not geared towards you. And maybe there's something to be said about.
Let's wait real quick. keep that thought real quick. Let's rephrase that. It's not that it's not geared towards us, because whoever made it wasn't intending for it to gear towards anybody but them. You know what I mean? When you write a song, you make it for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So none of it's really geared towards any specific, like, you can be working within a specific genre, I guess, and gear it towards that genre. But outside of that, you know what I mean? Like, if I just feel like if it's music, if it's something that, you know, it's not, you know, geared towards, I guess, isn't just, I don't like that term. I use it too. But I've literally never thought this before in my entire life. This is the first time I'm ever having this thought right now. Like, when you said it right there, it just clicked in my head. And it's like, well, it wasn't made to be geared towards really anyone, was it? It was just made. The artist just wanted to make it, and they geared it towards themselves because it's what they liked.
Yeah.
So I guess a better way to phrase it would just be, it just didn't it didn't make me feel.
I mean, I guess that's the easy way to put it. Like, to me, I've always thought of it as, like, if I hear something, or if I'm looking up something and, like, it just doesn't really capture me right away, or it doesn't really, I don't know, it's just not what I'm into listening to most of the time, I just put that as, like, you know, it's just not for me.
It's not for me.
It's
not for me.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I don't like it, but it's that, if it makes somebody else feel the way I feel when I listen to the shit I like, then fuck yes.
Yeah.
That's good, because the way I feel when I listen to the shit I like is good. So that means that they're feeling positive.
Yeah.
And that should be something that is spread.
Yeah. But it's also, you know, it's and especially being into, you know, quite the style of music that we are and everything. And, you know, a lot of times it's, you know, you hear, I guess, the same argument put against it that we're kind of making right now. But at the same time, like, you know, somebody else might see that as, you know, because, like, I guess it's all about kind of like your perspective of it. Because if you see it as just, you know, face value, if it's just as just a bunch of people screaming and playing loud, like, that's, and at its core, I guess maybe that's what it is. But, like,
one of my favorite memes that's been going around lately on all the heavy metal pages that I've, or groups or whatever that I'm on Facebook, is if all you hear is like something like, if all you hear is screaming, then you don't understand the meaning, or something like that.
Yeah, I've seen.
And it's
that
like
before.
got a picture of Mitch or something.
Yeah.
Like it's like, yes, like if you turn this on and all you hear is loud chaos, screaming, anger, then it's not for you.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
That's perfectly fine. But for people like you and me who seem to be attracted to the extreme, we are people who you know, enjoy the fringe. We feel at home in the dark places of society.
Yeah.
In the ones that, you know, nothing feels more at home than at a fucking giant concert or even a small concert.
Yeah.
And it's just, you know, you're surrounded by people that just get it. You know what I mean? Like, there's just that fuck about it. You know, that's why this music is different than any other genre. No other genre has the loyalty. This is proven at this point. Like, there are articles about this. Like, no other genre has the fan loyalty that heavy metal does, or like in a sense, the respect. You know what I mean? Like, it's you know, unless you're only into the softer genres of metal, and maybe even if you're into the softer genres of metal, you still fucking like, or at least respect, Slayer. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have this like respect for the old guard. You know what I'm saying? We're more like fucking Norse with this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
Like, we're fucking like Vikings and stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just this, it's different. No other form of music has like a fucking specific uniform and lifestyle attached to it that ours does. And it's something that we choose and something that we love and something that we're proud of. You know what I mean? Like, it's not passive. It's all encompassing. You know what I mean? Like, people that like other genres of music or people that like all genres of music. All of that's I fucking love all that. But we found ours. You know what I mean? We found our niche.
Yeah.
And this is it for us. You know what I mean? It connects in such a deep, fucking emotional, primitive way. Primitive, caveman. That's what it is. That's what it is. The people that like metal are just not as evolved as everybody else. We're still in the caveman shit. Oh, we like to fucking bang our fucking heads and run into each other. But it's just,
I've been really into looking up.
Love.
Yeah, I've been really into looking up and like watching. You ever go online like to YouTube and stuff and look up like reaction videos and stuff? I know it's like a niche kind of thing.
I do reaction videos, and
that's true. Yeah,
part of the reason why I do them is because the effect that some of them have had on me, especially and honestly, like, I wish I could find a better way to do them for albums. I should do that. Maybe I should like film myself listening to an entire album and then like just cut it up into a 10-minute video or something. Like a genuine reaction to an album. Because the reason why I like reaction videos is because I like watching other people get as excited as me about the stuff I'm excited about, because I don't have that all the time in my daily life. So it makes me excited.
Right. I'm not necessarily talking about those. I was talking about more the ones that are like first impression kind of videos of people that are like kind of like not so much into it, like they've heard a little bit of it, but they're like that. I wouldn't say that they're like fans necessarily. They're just people on
like a video of like old people listening to Slipknot, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
So for one, I'm not the biggest fan of those videos, just because a lot of times, like for one, I mean, it brings you back to talking to people when you're like 13 to like 16, when you're trying to explain to them stuff and they just kind of see it at face value and stuff. But the ones that I'm talking about are the people that are genuinely like curious about why this is such a big thing and like why, and it's more so because like I guess a good example to kind of like bring it full circle is Slipknot. Because a lot of people, even if you don't listen to heavier music, you know who they are. Same kind of thing with Slayer, like Metallica. Let's say. Yep. Yeah. So anything like further than that is almost like too crazy, and anything like before that is a little like kind of like mainstream and stuff.
Right.
So I always I pay more attention to the people that are more like, I guess, like open about like, they actually have a genuine interest in it and aren't trying to just like shit on it the whole time.
It's not that they're into it, but they have a genuine interest as to like, what is this?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get that. I like that.
And that's always kind of the mentality that I have in terms of looking into other styles, music and things, is like, I know that it's not for me per se, but I know that somebody else enjoys it, and it's more so like me trying to figure out why or like what it is about these certain songs. I don't know, like Billie Eilish, let's say. She's a bigger like. I
only know her because I saw her in a video, because apparently she's a huge Office fan.
Yeah.
For anyone who doesn't know.
Yeah, I think I know where you're gonna get.
I've watched every episode of The Office 50,000. I could.
Yeah.
Quiz me, bitch. Fucking quiz me. Like, I will fucking take you down in an Office trivia game.
Yeah.
I know some deep cuts, all right? Like, deep. Like, I know I've observed shit in that show I've never seen anyone else observe ever.
Yeah.
Online, ever. So, yeah. Fucking, and I saw a video online once of Rainn Wilson, Dwight, coming to her house and
I saw that
doing Office trivia with her. So that's the first time I ever saw her in anything, and then apparently she's a singer.
she has one, like, I don't know if it's a full length or if it's just like an EP kind of.
I like her alt look. I like her dyed hair. I like her kind of like new age Avril kind of look.
Yeah.
I always had an appreciation for Avril because she was trying to bring like a little bit of rock, a little bit of punk into the pop scene. You know what I mean? At least a little bit.
Yeah.
Come on. You know what I mean? Like trying.
Yeah.
I'm in black. You know what I mean? Like at least that. You know what I'm saying? Like I always anytime someone's trying to like inject a little bit of that into the mainstream, I take a little bit of notice. And even if I'm not a fan, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Shit. You know what
cool,
I mean?
yeah.
Yeah. Like fuck. Come on. Like
yeah. It challenges what the I don't know. I hate using the term
mainstream.
regular. Yeah, but mainstream. So
what they want, what the fucking man wants the mainstream to be. The man.
Yeah. So like, you know, people like, and like I've seen her do videos of like her watching other people like cover her songs and
Billie?
shit. Yeah.
This Billie Eilish?
Yeah.
I think it's Eilish or something.
I think it's Eilish.
Eilish?
Yeah.
I heard someone say eyelash
Yeah.
and made me laugh.
But yeah, and like I guess like she's the one main example that I can think of just because her music's everywhere now and stuff. And like even
I don't know a song.
Even before like that was, you know, she was like a big name and stuff. Like I kept hearing that name come up and I was like, why? Like what is this and stuff? And then I kind of listened to it and it's kind of in the same vein of like and South Park kind of tainted a little bit, but like the whole Lord thing. Cause like
I am Lord.
And it was always that thing of like, yeah, like it's funny, but why? Like why is this, you know? And like so, you know, that kind of led me to like listening and like actually a lot of her music's pretty cool. It's pretty like ambient, kind of like you know, but it's all like, to me it doesn't matter what the sound is. It doesn't matter like stylistically. It's what they're saying and it's the message and stuff.
Oh, okay.
And I feel I
feel that.
Yeah, it all goes back to that. Regardless of the popularity, everything else, it's the substance of it.
Yeah.
And I feel like both of them.
And if it's something with substance that gets big, then that's good.
Yeah. Because I've always, to me, like there's nothing worse than like the dumb song that everybody knows that just isn't about
Jesus
shit.
Fucking Christ.
And we all know them, you know, and stuff like. But it's like, I think there's a bigger movement right now going around that is, you know, like kind of more like mainstream artists like trying to like actually say something and trying to like, you know, because it's a different time altogether.
It's so weird right now, man.
Yeah.
Like what? Like I feel like we're sitting here talking about using the term mainstream, talking about what's on the radio. Is the radio even mainstream anymore, or is it Spotify?
I don't. Yeah, in terms of that, it's a whole other conversation.
Yeah,
really.
you know what I mean. Like you're right. Electronic music is gigantic, fucking huge right now. I'm not aware of a single radio station that plays it.
There's like, as far as I can tell, it's more of an inspired by kind of genre than it is an actual like, you know.
I don't know, but you know what I mean. Like it's such a fuck. That's why, and again, kind of to bring it back around, like that's why I almost wonder if that's why Slipknot isn't getting as much press as they should be right now, because I just heard the most recent episode of Joe Rogan with Everlast. They were talking about like records sales and stuff like that.
Yeah,
dude, to have like a fucking gold album now, it's less than it used to be.
Oh yeah.
So they've changed.
Yeah.
So to be number one right now, you don't have to have sold as much as you used to have sold. It's a totally different game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So bringing it back to Slipknot, maybe that's why, you know, they're not getting as much press, is because yes, they're number one, but that doesn't translate to as many. How many sold? You know what I mean? How many people hear? How many, you know, downloads and repeat downloads? Like I just said, heavy metal is the most loyal fan base. This is a proven fact. Fucking and like, you know, I am. Fuck me.
Well, sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, I guess you could, at this point, call me old school. Fuck. God damn it.
Well,
I'm still in my 20s, fuckers. Like, fuck me. I'm in my 20s. But yes, every album I get a hard copy on CD, physical copy. And I, you know what I mean? I feel, and I get it, and I try to always get it direct from the band website to support the band directly. And then I will listen to it over and over and over and over. But what if I had Spotify? And what if I listen to it over and over and over? Does that help the band more nowadays than physically purchasing? You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm under the impression bands don't make a whole lot of money off Spotify. I feel like the $15 to $20 they're making off me buying the physical copies probably maybe better than the money they make off Spotify. My listens, my personal listens. You know what I mean?
There was a study going around that kind of broke down the like how much a song or how much it takes for an artist to make any substantial amount from
is it ridiculous
from streams and stuff. It is, yeah.
It's thousands, hundreds of thousands.
I couldn't offhand come up with this with
yeah, that's what it is. Number. That's what it's like on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I will say, like, from an artist standpoint and from somebody who is, you know, who's kind of in the game a little bit, what matters the most is the merch and what you're selling and the full, like, 'cause full albums, I think, I don't know, there was
physical CD considered merch? I would consider that merch.
It's
at this point.
Yeah.
Because there are other ways
well.
You could just get it off iTunes, for Christ's sake. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, I would consider that merch.
There was somebody printed out a shirt that they were selling that kind of it was kind of like it wasn't so much like a meme, but it was really like it kind of like made you think a little bit, and it was kind of more of like a statement that was like, I was like, this one shirt is 100% of what normally like 1,000 streams would be. Like we make as much off this shirt as like 1,000 streams
off this $10-15 shirt. Yeah. Okay.
So I guess
buying the CD is still better for the band then.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. That's good to know.
Well,
hell yeah. Fuck off then.
I don't know, because to me, like, I feel like as long as people are still buying albums, because
there aren't many of us.
Yeah.
We are a dying breed.
Yes and no. I mean, there's got to be.
There was a resurgence for vinyl.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Yeah. So,
but it probably costs more to press vinyl.
Oh yeah.
So there's that too.
It's stupid what it takes to print like full vinyl like variants and stuff like that. Like, and that's the only reason we haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
Because we have had a lot of people ask us about it. It's like, dude, it's stupid how much it costs.
It's expensive.
Yeah.
And not really. Yeah. Fuck that. Like the amount you'd have to charge your fans.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? To make $1. You know what I mean?
Because CDs are like what, $20 at most, and that's like special edition. 15, 20
$20 if it's like special edition and like a huge band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like colored variants I've seen go for like 35 or 40.
Vinyl.
Yeah. That's.
Oh, if it's vinyl, like any vinyl, at least 30 minimum. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So,
which is crazy. But yeah, I fucking, I still like the physical. I need to have the booklet.
Yeah.
I need the physical CD. Like I can't just do digital. It's that I need to get something for my money. A physical something to put in my hands, and something that if my fucking phone or laptop doesn't work, that I can still fucking listen to. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want my shit to be dependent on internet.
Yeah.
Fuck yourself. Or monthly fees. Fuck yourself. Like my music is my fucking music. I'm purchasing it permanently. It's not a one-time purchase. You know what I'm saying? Like done and done. And yeah. Absolutely. I have to use the bathroom. You want to say something, or do you want me to pause this?
I don't know. You can
I'll pause that. All right. Pause. And we're fucking back. Question for you real quick. Did you ever watch Breaking Bad?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
Did you watch it all?
Yeah.
Did you see that trailer?
I didn't see the trailer, but...
You heard about it?
Yeah.
El Camino?
Yeah.
Dude.
that's the one thing that I'm excited that they're going back to. Because that's the one like loose end that I'm like, what happens?
Such a loose. Oh
Yeah.
well, I mean that's not the one.
Well,
That and fucking Dexter.
Yeah, that too. Yeah. But
Dickweeds.
that's another
But
conversation.
at least Breaking Bad had a good ending as opposed to Dexter. But yeah, like, so I'll show you the trailer after we get off here. It definitely looks like it's taking place post Breaking Bad, for sure.
I would hope so.
And that is really all we know. Like, there is fucking nothing else that we know other than it comes out on October 11th. And so last night, I fired up Breaking Bad. Oh my God.
Dude,
Like,
yeah.
Dude, you know, and I remember people saying, like, oh, the first season's slow. First season is fucking brilliant. Okay? Like, off the bat, the show was fucking great. Like, I'm rewatching it all.
Yeah.
I'm gonna rewatch it all leading up to this movie.
I feel like I should.
Fuck.
Yeah.
It's all on Netflix, so fuck it. And oh man, like just the first few episodes were last night is when I started it, and I was just immediately like, oh my God, this show was brilliant.
It's such a cool look into like the mental state and like what somebody in that situation goes through, as far as like, you know, because it starts with him kind of like, I don't know, in terms of like character development. Like, I feel like that the first couple of seasons had to be slow for the rest of it to make sense, and especially after watching it.
I guess they're slower than some of the other seasons, but it's not. I would not describe it as slow. You know what I'm saying? Like, go back and watch it. Like, the first 3 episodes all have intense moments. You know what I mean? Like, they're not slow.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just a build. It's the build.
That's
you know
what I mean.
saying?
Yeah. Well,
There's a lot of build.
Yeah, it takes something like that to really like, because if all that wasn't there and they just kind of were like, all right, well, so this is what happens and then this happens, it wouldn't be as big of a deal.
Right.
But instead, they decide to like take it and really like, you know, drag out the story and make you really actually care about the characters and stuff, and like the whole story. And then they it's I think it's like the end of season like 3 or 4 where it really starts to get interesting. If I remember correctly.
I mean, yeah. The first season was short. I can't remember how many. I think it's only like 6 episodes or something.
Yeah.
It's short, but it was a pilot season because like AMC was like, we don't know if a high school chemistry teacher turned meth dealer is going to work. And so like the first season was like every episode was like, this might be our last.
That's true, yeah.
And I don't know if you remember the final episode of the first season, but they're like in like a Jesse and Walt are like in a junkyard. I think, fuck. Is that the first time Walt comes up with Heisenberg? I can't remember. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I'm rewatching it now. But he's like with the first like big drug dealer, and the big drug dealer shoots one of his own guys to like, you know, intimidate or whatever. Originally in the script, that's the scene Jesse was gonna die. Jesse was supposed to be killed at the end of the first season.
Wow.
But his character was so popular they let him live. And now he's in the movie. He's the movie, it looks like. So yeah, like it's fucking
I think I'm more excited about the fact that like they actually brought him back and they like kept his character and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And because like that was one of the things that I felt when I was watching it. I was like, man, like I thought either he was gonna die or something was gonna happen. And and to be honest, I think I maybe felt the opposite, because I was thinking that Walt was gonna get away, and then Jesse was gonna end up dead for some reason.
Oh, at the end of it all?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought that it was going to be like a straight Dexter move. Walt was going to be like, he was just going to drive off into the sunset, but really, that's not.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
I don't think Walt died.
You don't think so?
Nope.
I've had that thought before.
Put it this way. There are rules on TV.
Mm-hmm.
And the rules are until you see a body, in a morgue, like a corpse, until you see a corpse, they're not dead.
Yeah.
And sometimes, even when you see a corpse, they're still not dead.
Yeah, that's true.
Those are the rules of TV. So I will be, I'll be pretty upset if in this movie he's dead. And I think a lot of fans will. But one of the things that really excites me is the guy that created Breaking Bad, directed, produced, wrote everything, Vince Gilligan, he's the one on this movie.
As it should be.
Absolutely. And also, fun fact, Vince Gilligan, one of his first big starts was directing a few episodes of one of my other all-time favorite shows, The X-Files. And he directed the only X-File episode to feature Bryan Cranston. And I don't know if he directed this one, but I know that in another episode, Aaron Paul was the guest star. This is in the 90s.
Yeah.
Long before any Breaking Bad. Long before Malcolm in the Middle.
Wow.
Long before any of that. So Bryan Cranston and Aaron Paul weren't nearly the stars they are now.
Yeah.
Not even close when they were back on the X-Files the first time they met Vince Gilligan, who later put both of them in Breaking Bad. So Breaking Bad has a lot to owe to X-Files. X-Files is one of the greatest shows ever made. Fucking love the X-Files. I need to rewatch that.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about that, Breaking Bad, and Sons of Anarchy. I want to rewatch all of them.
I really got into that one.
Sons?
Yeah.
Fuck. You should.
Yeah.
Dude, I can't remember I think it's the first 2 or 3 seasons. I can't remember if it's 2 or 3. But I want to look it up, but I don't know how I would. But it's from when it starts to when they go to Ireland and then they come back. And then it's either the first 2 or 3 seasons where it's just a perfect encapsulated closed story with a perfect beginning, middle, and end. And then after they get back from, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but after they get back from Ireland and all the things happen, oh my God, all the things that haven't happened that were so brilliant. Fuck. Then when it comes back, it literally starts up a new story, introduces new characters, the whole nine. So but the first 2 or 3 seasons are a concise story chunk, and they are non-stop, pure, intense, gold brilliance. Like, it's fucking, oh my fucking God. Like, I fucking love Sons of Anarchy. Those, so good.
Should try to get into that.
Did not like The Mayans, which is the spin-off show.
Oh, yeah.
Did not like that.
Spin-offs, especially stuff like that. Like did you ever watch Better Call Saul?
Nope.
Oh, well.
Nope. Another one I watched a few episodes and I was like,
it's all right.
Where's Walt?
Yeah.
Where's Heisenberg? Where's Heisenberg?
Yeah.
Where the fuck is Heisenberg? So
it was cool to see them do something with that character, but I don't really feel
I do like that character.
Yeah, I don't really feel like he had that much weight.
I mean, I don't know if Walter or Jesse ever made an appearance on that show, but if they did, I mean, that'd be kind of worth checking out.
Yeah.
But
well, that's kind of the thing, is I'm also talking from seeing like maybe 3 episodes of
the
it.
first few, and that's it. Yeah, me too. And it went on for a few seasons, so it must have been decent.
Well, it's tough too, especially when you hear something like that come out, but all you want is just another season of Breaking Bad, but that's not what that is.
I just want the characters that I love.
Right. That's
really what it is.
Yeah.
Like, and the characters I love are ones like Jax or Heisenberg or Jesse, or, you know what I mean? Like Opie.
Mm.
Man, those shows are so fucking... God.
It's kind of the reason I fell off with The Walking Dead.
I never... You know, when they announced that was going to be a show, I was like, how do you make something zombie more than one episode?
Yeah.
Like, how do you even make this a show? And they just made it about, like, the people, their experience in a post-apocalyptic world. None of that interests me very much.
Yeah. Like, I get the fact that it was supposed to be, and it still is, I guess, because I haven't really seen a whole lot of it, but I get the fact that it was supposed to be like a real world kind of, adaptation of what would happen if the zombie apocalypse actually popped off and stuff. But having said that, there was too many episodes in the middle of like the crazy, like, because like it always seemed like, at least for the first couple of seasons, that it was, the first episode or like the first like 2 or 3 would be really like involved, really like, just there'd be a lot of stuff going on, and then you'd reach the mid-season point where like nothing would happen. It would just be full episodes, just everybody just talking to each other,
talking and arguing and planning, and
and then the last like 2 or 3 would be a big deal, and then, well, no, because not even that, because they used to do that weird thing where they would like split the season in half. They do like a mid-season finale kind of, which never made sense to me, because I feel like it totally just ruined the feel and like the whole movement of the show.
That's the problem with the television episodic format.
Yeah. And maybe, I don't know, because I think because I watched up to the 4th season, which is when I think it was the last one where they're in the prison and all that crazy stuff starts happening, where like everybody gets sick and stuff, and there's a big virus and everything that happens. But yeah, like, I don't know, it was a lot of like, it felt too much like a soap opera to me. And at certain points, like, there wasn't a whole lot happening. Like, you call it The Walking Dead, but there's like maybe like 2 zombies in it the whole time. And it's like the start of the episode where somebody's like stabbing them in the face or something like that.
And that's it.
Yeah. So I don't know. But having said all that, I think it makes perfect sense for the Breaking Bad thing to pick up again, and to, because that was one of those shows that when you heard about it, and like it was first going on, and then like when it finished, like people just wouldn't stop with it.
Oh, we want more.
Yeah.
Nobody thinks Walt's dead.
Hard to say,
We never saw him dead.
Like,
we never saw him die.
Yeah.
We didn't see him die. How can you think he's dead? We saw him on the ground alive, and the cops got to him. So what did the cops do? Put him in an ambulance, take him to a hospital, get surgery, he lives, and now he's in jail.
Yeah.
Like, we never saw him die. We saw him with a wound.
That's true, yeah.
That's it. That's it. All right? Like, he's not dead. There's no way in my book. So, yeah. I don't know. I can't wait for this movie, though.
Yeah.
I was pretty sure you'd seen Breaking Bad, so I was like, I want to mention that. And obviously, we're both big fans. Well, we used to be really big fans of American Horror Story. And they just dropped their latest trailer.
Dude, I just like...
It looks more enticing than the last few, is all I'll say.
It does. Having said that, though, like, if they were going to do anything, like, super sick, like, super, like, going back to, like, the first season, I feel like not only because I feel like they, like, on one hand, I feel like they could still do it, but on the other, like, would it be as big of a deal if they would have done it like 3 seasons ago as compared to right now? Like, if they took this one, and if they were like, all right, so the house that it happens in is the murder house, all right? For one, I don't know about everybody else, but I know, like, personally, like, between the two of us, we've been talking about that them going back to that for ever.
They've gone back to the murder house.
Right, but not the way that they should. They haven't gone back to the asylum like they should.
That's the one. Like, the murder house I could do without.
Yeah.
But the Briarcliff, the asylum. Because to me, season 2 of American Horror Story.
That was it to me.
In the for my money, in the past, I don't know, at least 10 to 15 years. For my money, it is the greatest horror It is the greatest thing in the horror genre that the horror genre has seen in the past 10 to 15 years. The second season of American Horror Story Asylum. To me, that shit was fucking unbelievable. Like it had every element of everything I could ever want. It was fucking gross. It was freaky. It was scary. I was genuinely, that is the last time, I can 100% say this. That was the last time that I was genuinely addicted to week episodic format TV. I had to watch it every new episode as soon as it came on, and I could not fucking wait till the next one every time.
Yeah.
Like, that season was the pinnacle. And then after that, like, it's been okay.
I haven't really followed. Well, I take that back because I watched all of
Coven.
That was interesting. I wouldn't say it was my favorite.
And then Freak Show.
Yeah, that one was kind of cool. Like, they did, as far as like the atmosphere of it, so it was a little too, it's a little more like Broadway-esque.
Yeah.
Which because there was a song in every episode, and it kind of felt a little forced to me in some senses.
It's weird.
Yeah. And then I don't even think I watched the last two, to be honest.
Hotel and...
No. Yeah, Hotel I watched.
Okay.
That was the last one I thought was cool.
Hotel was all right.
They did some different stuff with that.
They did do some... Yeah, there were some things I liked about Hotel, for sure.
And then... So maybe it was the last two that I hadn't seen all the way through. I started what was
What was the one where they were all just in a neighborhood? What was the one before the last one? I only watched a few episodes of it because it's like, what the fuck?
Wasn't Cuba Gooding Jr. in that one?
Something like that.
He was like the main guy, and it was the first half of the season was like it was like an interview kind of deal. Let me look it up.
Fuck yeah, look up these seasons, because I'm getting them. After Hotel, I'm getting lost. There's some I'm forgetting. There's some a big one I'm not remembering. But it was weird. I remember like in a suburb, and like there was like some truck that was like spraying green stuff. And that's like the last episode I watched. I was like, what the fuck? What are you guys doing? Like, oh yeah, and there was that one that was all like interview, like, what the fuck was that? What do you got?
Let's see. So it goes Murder House was the first one, Asylum, Coven, Freak Show, Hotel, Roanoke.
Roanoke.
That was
That's the one I'm forgetting. But what's the one after Roanoke?
Cult.
Cult. That was the one in the suburbs.
And then Apocalypse, and then 1984.
Yep. Apocalypse was the last one.
I never saw that
which
one.
Also made no sense.
I never saw the end of Roanoke, and I never saw... I don't even think I even watched any of Cult, to be honest with you.
While I like... I'll never say anything bad about the acting. The acting in this show has always been top-notch. But I did not like the story of Roanoke at all.
It's the writing.
Yeah, it's the writing that I don't like. The writing of Roanoke, I did not like. I only got a few episodes into Cult, and I was just like, I don't fucking get it. It's
hard to say with a show like that because and that's kind of the problem that I have with doing watching shows like week to week, is that I feel like sometimes it loses the momentum that it built up, and
can't do it. I think the second Netflix decided to drop an entire season at once, it's over.
Yeah.
Week to week's over.
Yeah.
Because part of the reason for that also is because of kind of this thing that started on HBO with kind of like Oz and The Sopranos and stuff, was this, it's not a show, each season's a 12-hour long movie.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just one episode.
Mm.
It's not just a one single. It's there's no fucking Dexter or Sopranos or fucking Breaking Bad or this or that episode that's like the No Soup for You episode of Seinfeld, or all those standout specific episodes of Seinfeld that everybody can quote. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Like these shows don't operate like that.
Yeah.
Like these shows are a piece. Sometimes just one season long, sometimes multiple seasons long of a concise story.
Yeah.
And then an overarching story through the whole thing from top to bottom.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a different animal. And when you're in a world making one of these 12-hour long movies and you have to release an hour week to week, I think, it does nothing but hinder and hurt you and the audience. I don't think it does anything for the audience, and especially in something like a drama or a horror, every time you put in a fucking commercial break, you're like watching something horrifyingly intense, and then this'll help you clear up your pimples.
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. Fuck commercials. I fucking hate commercials. Ugh. They ruin the art form.
Yeah.
They ruin it. I will not watch them.
That's why I can't watch movies on TV anymore.
A, they ruin the art form, and B, 9 times out of 10, I feel like whoever made this commercial thinks I'm a fucking idiot. They're talking to me like a child. They're talking to me. It's insulting sometimes, some of these fucking commercials. You think a human being is going to buy your product from that? What kind of human being are you going for? A fucking what? Someone who has zero self-worth? You're talking to us like fucking, like we're fucking mindless lemmings. You know what I'm saying? Like the sheep and the herd. You know what I'm saying? That's what the commercials are for, the sheep and the fucking herd. Fuck that. Ugh. I can't deal with them, dude. I can't.
I
And
guess
they really got to me the most. The last time it got to me was American Horror Story Season 2 when I'm watching that and they put on a commercial. I would let out an audible, every fucking time.
Yeah.
Like, I can't. It ruins it. It ruins the. Imagine if you're trying to listen to the new Slipknot song, Unsainted, and in the middle of the song, here's a moment from our sponsors.
Yeah.
Fuck you in the middle of the song.
Yeah.
That's what you're doing when you put it in the middle of a show. Okay? Like, fuck you. I hate it, and I'm not going to deal with it. If you have a show that's on episodic TV that I want to watch, I'm going to wait till it's over and watch it all at once. Like, fuck. I'm not dealing with these. Not in the middle of this brilliant thing that these artists created that worked so hard to do. And you're gonna try to sell me fucking Pringles.
Yeah.
I don't even fucking eat Pringles. Like, go fuck you. Like, I don't drink beer. Stop trying to sell me beer. Fuck you. Like, I'm done with it. I'm just done with it.
I was just trying to get at that last time.
That was an unnecessary rant. Sorry.
Oh, you're good. Very necessary though, because it's true. And a lot of times for every, and I was thinking about this the other day, for every like hour you sit down and watch TV, there's at least like a half hour of ads.
When I was a kid, a normal, like an episode of Seinfeld, for example, would be 22 to 25 minutes and 5 to 7 minutes of commercials. Go look up how long an episode of Big Bang Theory was. We're talking about 19 minutes and 11 minutes of commercials. These shows are almost 50% commercials now. Do you understand? Like, you gotta look at this and you gotta understand what's happening and how many fucking goddamn advertisements and consume this and that you're actually taking in on a daily basis just by watching fucking TV and owning cable. I don't understand people that own cable. I don't get it. I don't get it. What do you understand? You're just paying for commercials. If you just had Hulu and Netflix, that alone, and maybe an Amazon Prime, that if you shop on Amazon, you should have an Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
And if you have that, Hulu and Netflix, what the fuck are you? Like, it's less than cable, way less, and you have everything that cable has.
Yeah.
So what are you paying for? Why are you paying more money for cable? To pay for commercials.
Well, then that's
all it is.
There's the separate app right now that's out that you can pretty much it's cable still, but you can like customize what channels you get, like which shows you're watching, kind of like on demand kind of stuff.
Yeah, but it's still commercials.
It's yeah.
You're still paying for. Guess what? I can click it on Netflix or Hulu, done and done. Like no commercial. Like what?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just don't understand it. Like. It's dead. It's dead. It's radio. It's dead. These are dead medias. All right. These are dead and dying, going the way of the CD, the vinyl album. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not saying I appreciate them. You know what I'm saying? I grew up on them. I found so many great songs through radio.
Yeah.
I've always loved radio. But it's no longer what it once was.
Yeah.
It's now a predetermined playlist with a script that the DJs say in between the songs. It's no longer what it once was. And what it once was a podcast. Free. You know what I'm saying? Just talking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now it's scripted playlist. It's not someone picking songs for you and talking freely. So it's, it's the corporate takeover, essentially, in that case at least.
Yeah.
But
well, I was just gonna say the thing that kind of made me realize that it's, and maybe like just altogether that certain shows you just can't watch them in like broken up sections and stuff. Because I went back, I remember we were watching Hotel when I think that was the last one that like we actually made it a point to like watch when it was on and stuff. And I remember like the first time when I got through it didn't really do a whole lot for me. I was like, like it's kind of cool, I guess. But then like I think kind of going back and being like, well, I kind of enjoyed that. Like there was some cool stuff in it. Let me kind of go back and like watch it. I think that was the first one that I was like, maybe I missed something the first time. And that's what's kind of cool about that show in general is that like you can watch it, once or twice and like when it's on and stuff and like certain episodes are cool, but like really like in the scope of the whole story and everything, like you get so much more out of it when it's just one after another,
Mm-hmm. Oh my God, yeah.
So
yeah, absolutely. It's because that's the way it's meant. That's the way it was written and produced.
Yeah.
It's not the way it was released.
Oh, and I mean, I guess you can kind of say the same thing with like streaming and stuff, because how many times have you been, I guess, on like YouTube or like Spotify or something, and like been listening to something and like been really invested in the whole like album experience as a whole, but then like it reaches a point where there's like 2 ads and stuff. It kind of takes you out of it a little bit.
Makes me furious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially if I can't skip them after 5 seconds.
Yeah. Well, and that's like it just kind of bums me out that because at the end of the day, like TV, movies, music, whatever, like it's all art. It's all through the eyes of somebody that had a vision that wanted to tell a story of something.
Yes.
And you may have said this before, I'm not sure. Maybe like earlier episodes and stuff, but like, hearing like, cut songs on radio and like different things like that, or like, edited movies that shouldn't, for one, have no real reason to be on TV in the first place because they just cut everything out. But,
it's 2019.
Yeah.
Am I the only one living? We can't say fuck. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Are you fucking serious?
Why don't like
we can't say fuck on the radio and TV yet? What? Why?
To me, I guess
who's that hurting?
It's not so much about that. It's what we allow in place of that doesn't make sense to me.
No, the editing of the art.
Yeah. You can show somebody getting shot in a movie, but you can't.
Oh my God!
Like two channels past that, like is somebody else. 2 people in an argument saying a bunch of random stuff that's all bleeped out, but yet we can show somebody getting like stabbed or like shot or something like that. Like,
I couldn't believe what they got away with on American Horror Story Asylum.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah,
back then I was like, how are they showing this on TV?
Or like Hannibal even. That's another one.
first season of that show was unbelievable.
First and second, I think. Second is just as strong.
I don't remember the second as much.
Yeah.
Maybe I do, actually. I don't know. But, oh, yeah, exactly. Like, that was network television. That wasn't HBO or anything like that. Like, yeah, I was like, how the fuck do you get away with this? But, you know, at the end of the day, you know, it's 2019, and y'all can't get over some words.
Yeah.
A word. Really? You can't get over a word. But yet I can turn on CNN and watch a mass murder. Really?
Yeah.
Really? Really? That's interesting to me. I can watch a bomb explode that killed 35 fucking people, but you can't say, holy fuck, that was a big bomb? Like, what are we talking about here?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
What the fuck are we doing? Like, yeah, that's why going mainstream is bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, you can't, like the restrictions. You know, yeah, you get the popularity, but then you get that popularity with a giant catch, and it's all these restrictions.
Yeah.
Fuck that, man. Like, it's no.
Well, it bothers me from an artist standpoint.
Exactly.
And as somebody that understands how much it takes to put into something that is expressive and that is, you know, meant for a certain type of people at a certain, you know, time and stuff, and like to just see, you know, it kind of I don't know if it necessarily makes me feel bad, but it just kind of bothers me that, you know, kind of like what we were saying about like news and stuff. Like, news coverage is probably at times more violent than any movie that's out there, anything you could possibly find. But
you could compare news coverage to Cannibal Corpse albums.
Yeah, at this day and age, yeah. But you know, if like somebody writes a song or like, you know, writes a movie, like has like a movie script, like a TV show, and they put it out with full intentions of getting the point across that this is about something. I feel this way about something, and then to have, you know, stations on public TV that feel the need to cut things out, or like local radio stations like editing things out for the sake of, you know, maybe like is it safety? Is it
what?
But at this point, yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Are we? It's 2019. Like, we know all the things we know.
Yeah.
And we're still can't say fuck on TV.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Why? Why? Because the FCC rule. What? Why?
Why? On one hand, like, it is, you know, I could see the argument where it is public TV and it is accessible to anybody, but on the other, like,
you want to know what else is accessible to anybody? Go and walk the fuck outside and see a homeless person going fuck, cock, sucker, motherfucker, walking down the street.
Yeah.
That's completely fucking accessible too. That people see every goddamn day. That's real fucking life. Okay, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just fucking this artificial sense of attempted sheltering that is ultimately just hindering progress in art.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Artificial, fake, bullshit, censorship, garbage. Like, ugh. Yeah, that's why it's very hard for me to deal with regular programming and things like that. Like, I really seek out the other stuff.
Think about it in terms of when the good example of it, the what was it, the Filthy 13 or something
15.
like that? 15, yeah. You know,
parental advisory stickers.
Yeah, that was all in an attempt to try to stop this from being the norm and stuff. But what did it do other than flip the script and sell more records because it was more controversial and stuff, like,
and I think there's another piece to that too. I think because in my opinion, and I think in a lot of people's opinion, some of the best art is art that reflects society. I think that's what a lot of art does.
Yeah.
But I think stuff like people like you and I are drawn to the stuff that reflects like some the parts that other parts are afraid to look at. And it's like we revel in that. so it doesn't, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't, it has a completely different effect on us. You know what I mean? Some people, it scares them. To us, it makes us feel good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So.
Well, and I'm not going to get too into it because we all know what happened, but I guess a good example of this is the last, I don't remember which one it was. It was one of the two that happened in the same week, but basically one of the points was made that the dude that did it was
the
wearing,
shootings.
was wearing an Acacia Strain hoodie.
Yeah.
And
yep.
People
they ran.
it was what I found was it was one specific person that had a problem with it.
Yes.
And
yes, that's true. It was like some news anchor. I don't even know where, their name, nothing.
And it's the same thing that goes along with news sites targeting video games again.
Yep.
Because it is, you obviously, we've all seen with the advancements of everything and how the realism of stuff. Like,
no, fucking after all that shit, Walmart. We all already know Walmart only sells edited CDs.
Yeah.
They don't sell parental advisory CDs. That's been forever.
Yeah.
Another thing that people like to forget about Walmart is the fact they used to hire illegal immigrants and then lock them in their stores overnight as essential slaves. But yeah, everybody likes to forget about that fucking happened. That happened was a real thing happening all over the country. They were hiring illegal immigrants, paying them nothing and locking them in their stores overnight because they didn't have anywhere else to go. Literally slaves. Like, I don't know how else you describe that. And fucking and now they're like, "Oh yeah, we're going to stop selling violent video games. Oh, but wait, we're still going to sell guns."
Yeah.
Hey, Walmart, go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. Jesus fucking Christ, you back-asswards twisted piece of shit. Jesus fucking Christ. It's like the fucking Chick-fil-A. Any fucking business, I'm going off tonight. Any fucking business that is going to model their business in accordance to a religion, in the United States of America especially, go fuck yourself. You are never going to get a single fucking penny out of my fucking pocket. Ever. You want to be closed on Sundays? Guess what? That's the only day I want to go to your shit. So go fuck yourself. You know what? Like, God damn it. You're going to be against homosexuals? Go fuck yourself. It's 2019. Fuck should be allowed to say on TV. Everybody should be getting married. Go fuck yourself. Jesus fucking Christ, get over your bullshit. Tired of it. Just tired of it, man. It's garbage. It doesn't make sense to me. We're too old for this shit. As a human species, we are too old for this fucking this shit that we've been dealing with since I was a kid. Oh my God. Thought it would be over with by now. Fuck. What are we doing? Spinning wheels in mud. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just spinning wheels in mud, it feels like sometimes. But fuck. Be done with it. Be done with it. Just be done. Grow the fuck up. Grow the fuck up. Man. I don't know. Listen to some metal. Smoke some weed. Have some Captain Morgan. Have some fucking Jägermeister. Put a little lead in your pencil, for Christ's sake. Jesus, Murphy. Oh. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't know where that came from. You got me off on commercials and I just went. I don't like it. I don't like Chick-fil-A's. I don't like commercials. These are things that like just bug the shit out of me. I don't know why, man. I don't know. I usually try to only talk about things I love on. This is a place for things we love. I don't like people don't usually hear about things I don't like. You hear about things I do like. I take that philosophy from Kevin Smith. Yeah. You hear about things I do like. But, it's also, that sometimes conflicts with a desire to be as authentic as possible, to be as open and honest and truthful about things as possible.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's, it's the real world.
Yeah.
And these are issues that, however you feel about it, is real, and you gotta find where you stand with it and stuff. So
yeah,
Well,
it's just they're just find where you stand. Yeah. But these are also bullshit stupid fucking issues that shouldn't even be issues.
Yeah.
Why does anybody fucking care about a goddamn fast food chain? I will never You understand it's not even food, right? Like
half of it, yeah.
like you get that, right? Like, you shouldn't even be eating this shit. Like, what are you doing? God damn. You want to know what a better chicken sandwich is? One you made your own. Like,
Nothing better than that.
Fuck, yeah, exactly. So,
yeah.
I don't know. I'm crazy. I'm an idiot. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about anymore. God damn it.
It's
We're
late.
getting lost in the dark tonight. Fuck. We're talking about TV shows. Yeah. Anything, man. And is there anything like, I don't know, you've been into anything lately besides the Slipknot album?
Like music-wise?
Yeah, music, TV. Wouldn't seen a movie lately. Had a weird experience lately. Saw a ghost. Anything?
To be honest, I've kind of been waiting since we talked about the thing last week that happened. I've kind of been a little more conscious about like paranormal kind of shit happening.
Oh yeah.
Nothing really going on. But I don't know, just something I've been thinking about.
It's been in your mind.
Yeah.
Ooh, interesting.
Other than that, yeah, I've been listening to a lot of heavier stuff.
Well, hang on a second. What do you mean it's been on your mind?
Well, just, I don't know, like, just, I guess being more conscious of, like, weird things that happen when they do. Nothing really has to write home about.
Right.
But, I don't know, just, like...
More observant?
Yeah,
okay.
I guess,
okay.
yeah. Because, I don't know, my whole thing is, like, I've been really trying to be a bit more, like with it, like in the moment with certain things instead of like focusing on a whole bunch of different stuff at one time.
Yeah.
And so with that, I don't know, like your brain kind of wanders sometimes.
Yeah.
Kind of start thinking about some different things, and I don't know. So.
Well, what? Like what? Give me some crazy thought you've had.
Like I guess with the way that things have been going on as far as like the political climate and stuff, like you gotta kind of wonder like where it's all headed, and like because I feel like to me we're sort of on the brink of like some form of like trade war or like big like world war kind of that we haven't seen in centuries.
Well, World War II was only like 60 years ago.
Yeah, well, still something like that. Yeah, like I don't know. It's hard to I don't know. Like I don't know. I don't really know where I'm headed with this, but like I don't know. Just in terms of like being more open with things, just like paying attention to what's happening in the world and stuff, and kind of figuring out like where I stand with everything else, and not necessarily like weird things, but just kind of.
I guess. Here's the thing, man. Look, I listen to a lot of podcasts, okay? And most of the podcasts that I listen to are of people who travel the country for a living. They're everywhere in this country, more so than probably any politician. I gotta say, man, the consensus there is a more optimistic one, and it's one that I feel as though is more accurate. I think a lot of people are worried the same way you just said you were. However, I think that all that worry and all the perceived division and animosity is just that, perceived. If it bleeds, it leads, right? That's what they're going to talk about on the news. And that's all that they're going to talk about on the news and in the media and on Facebook and on Twitter and whatever the fuck. Bullshit. That's all they're going to fucking talk about. You know what I mean? They're going to talk about the most extreme cases, the most extreme examples, the craziest shit. That's all that they're going to talk about. They're not going to talk about the countless people doing great things. And they're also not going to talk about the fucking unity things that are happening. You know, they're not going to talk about any of these things. They're going to talk about the negative. That's all you're going to see.
Yeah.
So the consensus between the people that travel the country even more than anyone on the news or any fucking politician is when I'm out there on the road, I don't see that division, period, at all. I don't see this crazy political correct climate at all. Like, I'm sure, of course, there's pockets that exist, but it's the vocal minority people. It is the vocal minority. It is not the quiet majority like most of us are. Like most of us normal fucking people like that, you know what I mean, that are completely logical and fine. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? We're the ones that see the voice is getting lost in the sea of madness. I
always think of Henry Rollins. I kind of think about stuff like this. He's always got that. It's something that he's said that kind of stuck with me is like, if you want to know, you got to go.
Yep.
And
that's a good one.
Like, he's always one of the things that he talks about all the time is because, like, I mean, anybody who knows his story and like his whole thing is like he's everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, you know, in foreign countries and places that normal people would be afraid to go.
Yep.
Like, he's like, how do I get a ticket there and stuff? Yep. And like, I think he's one of the people that kind of made me realize that. Like, kind of like what you're talking about. Like, there's the fear campaign that happens with TV and with the media and stuff.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
Is a fear campaign.
Yeah.
That's all it is. And if that's all you consume, that is what you will feel.
Yeah.
And they know that. That's why they do it.
And then there's the actual reality of the situation where it's, you know, maybe it is that bad, but it's, you know, there's also sides of it where like it can't be that bad all the time.
Right.
You know,
like it's I'm not trying to say there aren't horrifying situations in the world that people are in.
Right.
But I don't think humans inherently hate. I think hate is learned.
Yeah.
Because I know from my experience as a child, I didn't hate anything until I learned about it. Hating. So, yeah, I mean, you're never going to hear about the good. There's no such thing as there's the fear campaign. There's no such thing as a love campaign on the media. You know, there's nobody doing that. Yeah. So, yeah. The more division, the more ratings, the more views, the more clicks.
Yeah.
So that's what they're going to do, and that's why people are freaking out. But I think when most of us go about our daily lives, we interact, like most people are good and fine and normal, and yeah.
Well, that's kind of something I try to block out and just kind of focus on is like how, and that's another Henry Rollins thing, is, you know, he talks about like, if you want to have like an actual change in your life and in your like community or whatever, like look closer to home instead of trying to like change the world, like change your world, I guess.
Yes. And yes. Be the change you want to see.
Yeah.
Yes. Be the guy you'd want to meet. Be the one you'd want to hang out with.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and it, you know, be that, but also, you know, base your, you know, make sure to, you know, always keep your value internal. Don't let your own personal self-worth be determined by external forces. You know what I'm saying? Because that's nothing but bad.
No.
Be awesome to yourself and be excellent to each other. Wild stallions, motherfuckers! Oh, Bill and Ted.
Old school. Man.
Excellent! Fucking love Bill and Ted, bro. That was some of my first introduction into metal, honestly.
Yeah.
Wild stallions! Fuck yeah. Love that shit. All right, you know what? We're almost at 3 hours. You want to wrap this up?
Yeah.
I think we can call this an episode. We ended it on a positive note. We went down some dark paths. I'm lost in the dark in the crypt tonight, but got a little ranty. Sorry about that. But Yeah, let's we're ending on a positive note, and just seriously, be excellent to one another. Like, that's a real thing. You know what I mean? Like, that's in to loosely take from Carl Sagan. You know what I mean? We got everything you've ever known. Every song ever written, every book, every movie, every word ever spoken, anyone you've ever known has ever known, every family member, anything you've ever known to exist, period. All of your collected knowledge only exists on Earth. That's it. That's all we got. We're one little speck in an infinite dark. And all we have is each other. And this is one of my favorite quotes from him ever. No one is coming to save us from ourselves. No outside help. There are no other civilizations that we've ever known. We are it. So be more kind to one another. You know what I'm saying? Like, consider that. Like, that is something, that is a level that I operate in on almost a daily basis, is the waking up with the recognition of the reality of our existence. You know what I'm saying? That all we have is each other. Nothing else. Nothing else. Likes, downloads, views, subscribers, fucking... None of these things matter. Money, none of these things matter. Popularity, nothing.
Sometimes it's crazy to even think that, like, somehow it's so certain that, like, when we close our eyes, go to sleep, we're gonna wake up in the morning. Like, the fact that there are people that, I mean, every day is something new, I guess, and, like, sometimes just the very thought of being able to, like, open your eyes the next day is enough to be like, all right, like, I can handle this stuff, like, like, that's just enough to kind of be thankful for, at least to me anyway. Like,
I think it's the number one thing as a human being we take for granted. We forget every day that tomorrow is not promised.
Yeah.
No one's promising you tomorrow. Today could be it. The end of it all. So,
on that amazing note,
better. No, it turns though,
yeah,
because to me that realization is nothing but inspiration to just be better. Yeah. Every day, be better than you were yesterday. Every day when you wake up, be like, yesterday I sucked. Let me be better. No matter how good you were yesterday, say yesterday you sucked. You know what I mean? Like, today you're gonna be better. It's just constant building. We all are on this fucking rock together, and then we are all we got. So, and people like you and I, we're lucky enough to be in a community like the heavy metal community, which is an amazing one. But at the end of the day, we're also part of the human community, and we are an awesome sect of the human community, I think. So, be excellent to one another, in the immortal words of Bill and Ted. And in the immortal words of us here. Oh, yeah, well, real quick. You know what? Fuck it. I don't care. Subscribe, like on all the platforms. If you like what you're hearing tonight, find us on... The main one is Instagram. If you have a heavy metal story, a concert story, if you want to be on the podcast, if you're a local Michigan, if you're a band and you want to be on the show, or if you have any paranormal stories at all, I'm trying to collect some for our October shows. Write to us at lostinthedarkpodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, just, like, leave comments, hit us up on, like, the Instagram, wherever. If you
YouTube.
If you have something that's crazy that you think is crazy, that you think is, like, unique to your situation, then we want to hear about it.
Yeah, we want to hear from you. Please, please reach out to us.
We do read comments and
absolutely.
Sort of thing,
And we respond. I try to respond. So we want to talk to you. Anyone who's listening to this, I want to talk to you. please reach out. Seriously. Like, if you're the one sitting there going, oh yeah, a bunch of people are probably reaching out to him, I'm not gonna, like I do. That's what I think when I listen to like the Josta show and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Look, no, stop. You are the one I want reaching out. Okay, trust me. Reach out. Okay.
If you have something that's cool that you think is cool, then share it with us. And
absolutely,
like
we might even have you on. I'd love to have some more guests.
We're doing this because it's cool to us and we enjoy it, but we also, like to hear what, your experiences and things that are going on that you might want to share with other people that think you're crazy. Are we
connecting with you at all?
Yeah.
Does anything we said tonight resonate with you at all? It'd be good to know. But yeah, let's wrap this up. Once again, in the immortal words of Bill and Ted, be excellent to one another. In the immortal words of the Crypt, raise your horns, bang your heads. Love you all to death. Good night.